I'm not done with these.
Oh, you're not done?
Yeah,
Okay.
leave those.
All
All right, welcome to the May 11th Board of Selectmen's meeting. If we can all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the board is just coming out of a paperwork review. In light of the barking dog outside, I suggest we move up, if there's no objections, the presentation of the Town of Litchfield's 2026 Top Dog.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much, Bob.
There's no objections?
Want me to read this first?
Yes. Could you read up, come to the microphone, though?
Yes,
Thank you.
and then we'll have Lacey come in.
Sure.
Okay.
Terry, thank you.
Thanks. Shh, Lacey's quiet. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all. Thank you to all of our residents who registered their dogs by the April 30th deadline. We had a wonderful response, and it's clear that Litchfield is full of amazing four-legged family members. Tonight, it is my pleasure to announce the winner of the 2026 Litchfield Dog Contest. And it'll be, I'm going to bring the dog in. Hopefully, she doesn't bark a lot, but
We'll get there.
Geez, what would ever make you think that?
That's a great looking basket there, Terry.
Yes, this was, we had a lot of donations from residents and a couple of the businesses in town.
That's gorgeous.
See anything you like, Kev?
Any kind of chewy toy.
Fetch. Open the treats and start feeding them. I bet you could catch them from here. We just got tossed them. He snagged them right out of the air.
Come on, Lacey. Come on, girl. Come on, Lacey. Come on, Lacey. Aw, Lacey. Good girl, Lacey. It's okay, Lacey.
All right.
Oh, good girl.
She's saying hello. All right, congratulations to Maureen, Kelly, and Lacey. As the official 2026 Litchfield Top Dog, Lacey will receive this basket along with lots of treats and toys. She'll also receive, I know, she'll also receive the #1 tag for 2027. And again, we thank all the businesses and residents that donated to help this be a fun community event for our residents and their furry friends.
Yay, Lacey. Yay, Lacey. Good girl. That's okay, Lacey. Good girl.
Look what you got. Yeah. How's that? Look. There's a whole basket. You want to go see outside? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Absolutely.
What do you stuff for?
Kevin, grab it and say, big strong man right
Kevin
there.
may steal something out of it, though. You're very welcome. Congrats.
Run, Kevin, run!
Hi, Lacey.
I didn't know this was going to be the second.
Hi, Lacey.
Definitely working on that.
Might be the loudest dog in town.
All right. Next up, we'll go back to the agenda. Next up is review and approval of consent items. In this evening's consent folder, we have accounts payable manifest for May 5th for $1,679,134.89. May 12th for $73,958.75. For payroll manifest, we have for May 7th, $69,094.78. May 14th for $70,711.35. We have a blind exemption approval for, from the 427 meeting. We have April 2026 tax collector reconciliation. We have one 100% permanently disabled veteran. And then we have the April 2026 town clerk reconciliation. Do I have a motion to approve or anything we need to take out?
Just a note that the 1.6 million is not the town spending that money. That's the school.
Yeah, that's probably a school.
That's a
payment.
school payment.
Yeah, yeah.
We wish we had that money.
A motion to approve?
So made.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by, okay. Motion made by Mr. Leary, seconded by Mr. Gannon. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500. Next up is any other business, any other additional items or other business for this evening?
I'd like to add one, and that is a discussion on turtle crossing signs.
Okay.
The residents are here tonight, so we'll call you up shortly.
And I'd like to add, in addition to that, is the request from the town clerk to support moving to a electronic notification for tax bills. We can have a discussion on that. Do I have any objection to the two ads? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll have to see those at the, later, towards the end of the meeting, if we could. All right, first, public input would be no earlier than 6:45. First up for approval would be approval of minutes, for April 27th. Have we had an opportunity to read? I believe we were a few short that meeting, so.
I wasn't here for that meeting,
no, all
but,
right.
Neither was I.
member absent is not Stephen W. Perry. I'm Stephen D. Perry.
So noted and corrected.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
Second?
Okay, motion made by Ms. Plansky, seconded by Mr. Gannon. Any discussion? No? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained,
Aye.
motion carries 302. Next up is the purchase order request for Continental Resources. This is from the IT budget for $12,288. This was in consent a couple of meetings back. We pulled it out and we didn't approve it last meeting because we didn't have we only had 3 members and I can't vote. But I don't know where it went. I
It's
can
over here.
explain it and then you can vote, decide how you wanna handle
It is here.
So this is a yearly maintenance, this is a yearly software subscription and maintenance for our virtual environment. You may know it as VMware, but now it's Broadcom. You may also know Broadcom as a bunch of thieves who like to steal money, but that's what it is.
Broadcom anymore, they sold
Yeah,
it too.
they sold it now again, so anyway, this $12,288 it represents a bill that is about $5,000 more than what was budgeted. That was an increase they gave us at the beginning of this year. The unfortunate part is, as I explained in the last meeting, this is our virtual software. It's kind of tied to the servers where we have today. The servers have another 2-3 years left on them. Migrating off right now requires buying new servers to do the migration, and we can't do that. And quite frankly, what's going on in the industry today, most virtual software is about the same cost. We really don't have a choice at this point, from that perspective, unfortunately. I hope it'll go down again, like it did one year. One year was up, went down again, then went back up, and this year is the up year. So hoping it reduces again, but we need to have this, this approved so that, one, I can renew the maintenance and subscription. I've already received 2 cease and desist letters. It's brutal. So, I'm asking for your support and approving it.
So I will make a motion to approve, do we have that in here? We do, right? I'll make a motion to approve Continental Resources purchase order from the IT budget for $12,288 for our server virtualization software.
I second.
A motion made by Mr. Gannon, second by Ms. Plansky. Further discussion?
What causes the ebbs and flows in the cost?
They're gouging.
Yeah.
And the market's driving it. It's tough to talk about because you guys are not in it, but in the industry, this has been going, when Broadcom bought the software, they started gouging the market because they're kind of locked in. There's not a lot of players for it. There's not a lot of enterprise class players. There are a few that have come out now. They were lower in the market early on, and now you do it side by side, they're exactly the same price. So it almost makes no sense to even move off it if the prices are gonna stay the way they are. But like I said, one of the complexities for us is we only have 3 servers that run this stuff. To migrate off, I have to stand up a whole nother environment and kind of transition off if I could, and then build it one by one.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure
I
that'd
gotta-
be a lot more
It'd be a
expensive.
lot more expensive. One, if you haven't been reading the market, if you try to buy a PC or anything today, you can't even get one. So, memory costs and compute costs are going way up. It's a bad time to buy anything when it comes to a computer. As everybody knows, I'm in the industry too, so I'm hoping it all comes back down, cause I make my living with it, and I also, it's my hobby and my work, so I don't like having customers pay 5 times what they paid yesterday, but that's what the market's doing. I will say the software, we've been running the software for over 13 years, never had any problems. It's the backbone of our stuff, so I'm pretty familiar with it. you know, it's a good solution. There's no reason why to stay, not to stay on it, but.
It was the de facto standard to go to for 20 years. And then when VMware Dell sold it off to Broadcom, it was automatic. Some places went up 400% for software support.
Yep.
So it was, and you really have, like John said, no choice to go unless there's another platform you go to. Then you've got to stand up a whole new environment while you're running this, move everything over, test it.
Now, we don't use the other, you say there's three of them that do it. Do they tend to be more stable in their pricing, or do they do the same thing?
No, they're all, so one place I was looking at another alternative, when this all started about 2 years ago, with the idea that when I go to refresh the hardware in 2 years, I would go to that platform. But after I went off, when this bill came in, I went back to them to go get pricing for the same, what I priced out 2 years ago. They are actually a little bit higher than that one now. So it's crazy. I don't
chasing
know,
people back to physical service.
which is another problem, because now physical servers are
More expensive.
are almost 10x in some cases. A physical server that I was buying in the past was $12,000. It's now almost $30,000 for the same physical server. And that price is doing this. It's all, and I would assume it'll, when some of the conflicts end and all the other things, I think it'll probably come back to normal, but, so hopefully in a year and a half, when I come back with a budget to ask for it, it will be back to normal pricing. Or we have to do something else, we'll have to figure it out.
You have the money in your budget to support it?
So luckily for me, I do have the revolving fund to cover anything over. I will say that the budget is definitely running tight. I've had several major failures in the communication side of the house. That's caused some expense that happened that I wouldn't have expected. But I'm comfortable that with this and what I see so far, I'll probably be coming back to the board asking probably for about a $10,000 withdrawal if the town can't eat it at the bottom line. Or if the board decides we'll pull it out of the revolving fund, but at some point, we gotta replenish that too.
Approximately what's in your revolving fund?
The last time I checked, it was like 35,000 and
Okay.
change, yeah. The last time we tapped into it, I think was for the fire system in this building, I think, if I remember right. I don't think I tapped in for anything else. It was I think it was just.
Yeah,
after you
it
got
wasn't
here.
before me.
Yeah, it was before you. I haven't, and we have not asked to refund it, so what it's been growing because of interest, but other than that, we haven't put anything into it. I don't expect any large capital outlays to the end of 2027. So quite frankly, in this year's budget, I may ask for support to either put money in the funds so we can just draw out of it, help do the next one, or we'll have to put forward a warrant article to do the capital replacement. But I'm hoping the market settles out. That's the challenge right now. So. Okay?
Okay.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries 401. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
I need to sign this?
Yeah, this kind of thing. Thank you. Perfect. All right, next is the Adopt a Flower program with Highway and Litchfield veterans. Come on forward, folks. You three are actually frequent visitors, so step on up.
I'll give you a quick synopsis of how we came about this. Excuse me.
Can you just identify yourself
Oh, Kevin Brown, road agent.
and the two gentlemen with you?
Bobby Jacques, 18 Lock Mill Drive.
Gentleman north of Century Lane.
Sorry about that. So we've always been looking for ways to, to beautify the bike path in Albuquerque Ave. So a while back, we were talking about doing some wildflowers on some of the hills, some of the hard to mow, and some of the, where there's a lot of long grass. Kind of worked that into, I was talking with Kim one day, and we kind of, got an idea of maybe doing buckets. Kind of like whiskey kegs, half whiskey kegs. And open it up to people in town. Make some kind of a lottery, put out 20 buckets, put out a lottery, have people fill them, flower them. The highway department, we have a water tank. When we do trash, once a week, we can water them. We could probably do twice a week, we can water if people want them watered also. But we're looking for your approval, to do this. The veterans stepped forward. I was talking to Bobby about it. Kim was talking to Bobby about it. And the veterans stepped forward and donated 24,
32.
well, okay, 32. They went to Home Depot and they've got 24 barrels, and then they went to Sam Adams and got 4 full kegs, which is another 6, which brings us up over 30.
Did you say full?
I'm sorry?
Did you say full?
No.
We'll talk about that
Empty.
after. So he has a letter here that, you know, he's looking to give us a gift of these barrels, so we'd have to accept the gift.
So I'll read it to you Mr. Chairman, I'll read this.
Go ahead.
It is my intention to bring forward to the Board of Selectmen and ask that they accept a gift from the Litchfield Veterans Group to the Highway Department. Here's a brief synopsis of how this gift came to fruition. In a casual conversation between Bobby Jacques and Kevin Brown, Kevin expressed an interest in creating a Adopt a Barrel program that would be a beautification initiative to put the planters, half barrels, along Albuquerque Avenue and fill the planting soil, planted and colorful flowers watered regularly all seasons in the town's highway department, by the town's highway. This will be a joint effort involving the town residents, adults, and children, and the town highway department. Planters would be adopted by residents through an application process, and those chosen would fund and fill the planters with flowers of their choice, just with the flowers of their choice. As you can imagine, conversation took on a life of its own when the Veterans Group decided to build the foundation for the project and acquire the 32 barrels. As many projects throughout the town, the veterans like to help whenever they're able to. As of today, May 11th, with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, we would like to gift the 32 barrels to the Highway Department so that they may begin the Adopt a Barrel program. The retail value of this donation is $1,500. We can't wait to see how creative the barrels will look, decorated, and how beautiful Albuquerque Avenue will look along in conjunction with the flags. Good luck to the Highway Department.
So I got the idea. The veterans came through, and of course, we went to our whiz in the corner office who wrote up the program. So I'm sure she's passed that along to you guys on, you know, what the program is. We're gonna put the barrels out, we're gonna set a date, we're gonna do a lottery system. You come, you pick, and all the barrels are numbered. You pick a number, that's your barrel. We discussed local, put it by your road, you know, but I don't think that's gonna work out, because with the issue of maybe you get, you know, more people in the southern end that want it than the northern end. So we're gonna put 20 barrels out to start. And if we get an overwhelming, you know, response, we can add more barrels. We're gonna spread them out through the whole reach of Albuquerque, from one end of the bike path to the other. We're kind of working on location right now, but the whole idea is in the pamphlet that Kim made up. We are definitely gonna do some kind of a lottery, and I'm sorry if you live in the north and you get a bucket in the south, but that's just kind of how it flies for now, you know what I mean? What's that?
Trade.
We could talk about that. If people don't take care of them, if we find that they're going, you know, they're not being maintained, we're either gonna remove them or the highway department will take over until we can find someone else. We're gonna be pretty strict about it. You know what I mean? If it's not being taken care of, if it's not doing what we expect it to do, we're gonna pull it. I think that's about it, right? Anything else?
But you're gonna water them.
We're gonna water them. We'll water them, but people can water them themselves. But say Monday and Thursday, we'll go up the bike path in the morning and we'll water them with the tank that we
You'll
have.
ensure the water, but if someone else,
They'll all be water. If someone needs more water, they can call us and we can come down and hit individual ones. They'll all be numbered, you know what I mean? So we'll know who owns which barrel. Not owns the barrel, who owns the maintenance of the barrel.
Okay.
And in the fall, when, you know, flowers are done and it's time the flags come down, we'll take them all out, we'll empty them at the dump, and we'll put them in our back building and store them for the winter. So we can do it again next summer.
Are you gonna supply them with dirt?
Yeah, yes, the dirt. You said that.
We can.
So like rocks on the
You
bottom
know,
and
something,
then dirt?
I'll make that an option, you know what I mean? We can peat moss and dirt. Home Depot has been very generous, saying that they will help us maintain with what we want. If we need flowers, if we need dirt, if we need more barrels, they're more than happy to help us. As of right now, yes, I can go get loam and we can get some peat moss and we can get them started, but the flowers are gonna be on the individuals.
But they have 4 holes in each barrel.
Okay.
Yeah, the bottom has drain holes. So they're made for this. When you leave, take a look at the one across the street. We put that out the other day, the highway put it together, and we put it out there the other day, so it's gonna be basically like that. We have the bigger keg barrels from CMS, which we're gonna cut in half. They're a little larger. We're probably gonna use a couple in Veterans Park with the larger barrels, and we're gonna give the veterans the option to do those.
It'd probably be a good idea to put rocks on the bottom though. They'll help with drainage for the root systems.
Yeah, but they have holes built into them, but we can
rocks
can
help.
stone them.
The
Yeah,
rocks help, and then you don't have to put quite as much dirt in.
that's why I'm here's your barrel, have at it.
That's where the issue comes in, because these barrels actually will use a lot of dirt.
Yeah.
If you tried to fill the whole thing.
Yeah, so when we filled ours,
Avoid with,
we used like a half a bag of peat moss, and then we used like a bag and a half of topsoil, and then we planted. So the topsoil was $3.95, and the peat moss was like $7.
Per barrel.
Yeah, per barrel. So I mean, if we'd had to supply that, it's not a insurmountable amount of money. We could probably work with Home Depot to get that, or I'll just get regular loam. I can go to Eddie Dalton and get a dump load of loam. And we have stone at the shop. I have everything basically we need.
Yeah.
Like you said, I can't do 6-8 inches.
You can do less dirt though if you do bigger rocks
Right.
too. Because you don't want the plants to come down too far
Right.
either. So you're never gonna need a full bucket.
Adopt a barrel.
I actually
Best
think-
one out there, because I
I
don't.
actually
I
think.
don't
know
know,
what I
I'm
mean?
just trying to
I
help
think
you.
the
Yeah.
peat moss is a great idea, because it's actually a lot lighter.
Yeah.
It'll make it easier to move at the end.
Right. So
Fill it with stone.
it's gonna be up to the individuals to fill the barrels. We're gonna
Okay.
we're gonna pick a date and say, this is the date, come meet us, we'll do a raffle, pull out the numbers, and then we'll say, on this date, the barrels are gonna hit the ground. And then the highway department will go and place them in where where they're gonna go. And then it's up to them to maintain them.
Yeah, I was just, as a gardener, it was just a suggestion.
Yeah, I mean,
So you'll accept the gift of $1,500.
Yeah, so I think we have to do it in two steps, right? Because we can, we can approve the program, and I think we have to publish it as a public hearing to adopt. Oh, $1,500 we can do with that,
No,
right?
1,500
Yeah.
you can do.
Yep, we can do both then. Yep.
But
Keep me
we
honest.
would like to put us, I'm not gonna call it that, a little plaque on each barrel to say which family has adopted it. So very similar to this. These are not signs. These are little plaques on the barrel, stuck in the barrel.
Yeah.
That says what family has, which I think people are gonna be interested as they're walking down the bike path, seeing who adopted the barrel and,
So I went to, looked on Amazon, and for that, to have it all printed with the two little holes in it, was like $20. And they would just send it to, so if the people adopt the barrel, I would recommend that they do that, and then would,
Get it secured.
then if they don't want to adopt it next year, they can just unscrew it and take it home and whatever they want to do, I think it's gonna be a great program. I think Kevin did a great job with that. And we're glad to help, Kevin. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Bob. The veterans always did help.
Okay. So I'll take I guess we'll take a motion to accept the donation of $1,500 from the Litchfield veterans.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 500. And then, I'll make a motion that we approve the Adopt a Flower program as discussed tonight. And hopefully we'll have the list out there in a couple of days and get people interested.
We have the barrels,
Awesome.
so we just need to kind of put together where they're gonna go and do some kind of a raffle, or have, put it out there for people to, show their interest, so it's gonna be first come, first serve. Hop on board.
So,
Second motion.
motion made by myself, seconded by Mr. Gannon. Further discussion?
The only thing I'm gonna say is the lottery system. I wouldn't wanna do a barrel at the other end of Albuquerque.
I'm kind of hoping people, so what do I do, Steve, if everybody in the north end wants 20 barrels, and, you know what I mean? I put them all at the end of everybody's road down the north end, or you spread them out and say, this is where it is. It's just like doing a street sign down the end of Hillcrest. You know what I mean? That's where it is. That's where the barrel is. That's where the street sign is.
Well, if you don't get enough people, I'll do one at the north end.
If you get one
I
of the,
won't do one at the
Same
south
thing's
end.
on the south.
and I get one of the north, we'll change.
There you go.
You're gonna just decide how how far down you take each barrel, right?
Well,
We'll have a map with the.
yeah, we'll have a map. We'll go out there with GIS with a map, and we'll set it up. Probably gonna put it on the inside of the bike path, just because most of the bike path isn't wide enough. Some of the north end is, but isn't wide enough to be more afraid of people running into them. So we'll probably put them on the inside. And I'll be honest with you, if we put 20 out there and it looks sparse, and we have enough interest, we'll put 20 more out. You know what I mean? As long as people show interest. If they don't show enough interest, it might only be 10. You know what I mean? Or we'll have to maybe central off the fire station, police station, town hall. I don't know. You know, we don't know what the interest will be yet. I think it's going to be large. I think people are going to jump on board. I do think people are going to want it by the road, and I feel for it. But we also have to kind of take into
Maybe do a
consideration. I
trade.
have to do them across the whole bike path. You know what I mean? And if it's all people from the north end that want to do it, what am I going to do in the south end?
I think,
Yeah.
remember the rocks during COVID? Painted rocks?
Maybe when you
I
do
think
your
it's,
lottery, just do a first come, first serve.
That's kind of what we're doing. Yeah.
First one to respond gets first choice.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 500. You have a program.
All righty.
Very nice.
Thank you very much for
Thank you,
everything you guys are
gentlemen.
doing. Appreciate it.
Just, if I could add, we're gonna, if I could leave these here for future groups when they come in. This is the second annual Litchfield Night at the Fisher Cats. We're almost at 500 tickets. So our goal is, we'd like to see the folks in town get to 1,000. Because the more we sell, the more we do.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. So I'll leave these here so the other groups can grab them. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. All right, we have an appointment for the Conservation Commission, Joshua Hoffman.
Have a seat, Josh.
Who would like to?
I'll do it. So Joshua is resident in town. He's been in town for quite a while. You might know his father as Matt. Matt was the chair of the conservation last year. He's been on conservation for multiple years. Josh joined us the other day, seeking to be a member of the Conservation Commission as an alternate. So I'm going to make a motion to appoint Joshua Hoffman to a position of an alternate member of the Town of Litchfield's Conservation Commission with a term ending March 31st, 2028. The request came from the Conservation Commission with a 5-0-2 vote, with his father and myself abstaining.
Second.
All right, you got it. Motion made by Mr. Gannon, seconded by Ms. Plansky. Hi. I think I met you at the
Fishing derby.
fishing derby.
Oh, yeah?
The ice fishing
Yeah,
derby.
ice,
I met you
ice
there.
fishing derby,
I
yeah.
was making hot dogs.
He's been helping a lot. He was out, I think, cutting up trees the other day.
Last weekend, yep.
We're gonna have to make him
Fantastic.
the chair after a while, then he could be his dad's boss.
All right, anybody have any questions, discussion? No? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
So your next step is to see that lady in the red, and she will swear you in.
All right.
So we should sign this now.
Yeah, might as well. All right,
Very nice.
moving along. Authorization for the abandonment of property, or abandoned property. Ms. Kleiner.
Yes, most people probably know that, when property is abandoned, most of the time it's small amounts of money. Could be, checks that are uncashed. That stuff goes to the state treasurer's office. And it needs to be claimed. Normally, that would be your treasurer. We found 4 or 5 small, actually AP checks that were uncashed or didn't make it to the intended party, and they were turned into the state treasurer. So we wrote a letter for you to authorize our treasurer, Ms. Hogenkamp, to be able to go ahead and claim those funds. So then what she'll do is she'll bring them in. If they're checks that need to be voided, we'll research them and handle it accordingly. So this is just giving your treasurer the authorization to claim the funds.
And they should
None of them were over $100. They were all less.
Yeah, like
Some
$10.
substantially less. But I did put there is a
$53.
note as to what each item is behind the letter in your consent folder.
Yeah. So are we authorized, so you're authorized, the board's gonna authorize me to sign a letter, and then Deb would sign the claimant on the forms themselves, right?
That's correct.
Any thoughts, discussions, motion?
I'm good with it. Yep. Yep.
I'll take a motion then, to authorize me to sign the letter on behalf of us, and then allow Deb to fill out the forms. and
So made.
submit them. Motion made by Mr. Leary, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Perry, further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 500. All right,
Can I, ask a question?
yeah,
Can we move up the agenda, the people that we have in the
I
audience?
was just gonna suggest
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say the same.
Instead of making them sit and wait and watch us
Yep.
till the end?
Yep.
If they really wanted to sit here, they'd be on
So
the board.
both of them are gonna be the ones we added onto the agenda, so
Okay, let's do it.
let's do the, turtles.
Sure. So if you two would like to join us,
Come on,
I'll
come forward and
give
state your
the
name.
oversight of what's going on. So at the last Conservation Commission meeting, these residents, and if you could speak your name and address.
My name is Mark Pilot. I live at 15 Foxwood Lane.
Thank you, Mark. The residents approached us to discuss the installation of turtle crossing signs at strategic locations through town. They're looking for something a little bit more than this. So the bottom line is they are willing to perform fundraisers to cover all the costs, including the purchase of the sign pole, as well as the cost of the road crew to install. The ask of us tonight is to request the town administrator, Mrs. Kleiner, to work with the road agent, Kevin Brown, to perform a cost analysis for a 24 by 24 diamond-shaped aluminum yellow reflective turtle crossing sign, the poles and the labor to install the signs. Kevin will do the cost analysis with Kim. Kim will provide the information back to Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Mark.
Correct.
And at that time, he can start the fundraiser to determine how many signs they need and where they should be placed. Finally, they will come back to Kim. Kim will put it on a future Board of Selectmen agenda, and then you'll come before us. It'll be made in the form of a donation to the town, and then the town will in turn authorize the road agent to proceed with the procurement and the installations of signs. So what they're looking for is true DOT aluminum 24 by 24 signs. We had some pictures brought up that Hudson, Londonderry has them on some of their main roads. And they're also gonna do the research to find out where they should put them strategically and then work with Kevin to sink them in the ground. I don't know if it's something that stays up year round or something they pull down. I'm not sure. But I'd like to turn it over to the gentleman here and he can give us some more information.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gannon. That was the second option.
That's true. Yeah.
But that good explanation. The initial option was New Hampshire Turtle Rescue has made these turtle crossing signs, and these are generally temporary signs. And what we have two of them installed at the moment, both on private property. We have obtained the homeowner's permission to install the signs on their property, so that's not an issue at this point. However, in installing the one sign on Page Road, I noticed that where the turtle crossing is actually just east of Cutler Road on Page Road, where there's a drainage culvert. And there's really no way to put any kind of a sign there except possibly to attach it to the guardrail. So one thought is obtaining permission from the town and the Public Works Department to install a sign on the supports for the guardrail, which would be seasonal. It would be put up in the spring prior to to breeding season and removed afterwards, roughly, March, April-ish to October, November-ish. The options that I see easily there would be to, for the wood post, simply to drill a couple of holes in there where the sign support could simply be installed in the wood support, with the addition of a sealing agent around the sign itself, so you wouldn't have any water ingress into the signpost itself to deteriorate the sign. Another alternative to that would be to use a clip, and I have an example here for anybody. Yeah. Some may recognize that as a automobile brake line clip, which in fact it is, but it's basically a stainless steel clip which could be then clipped to the post with a screw, so it would be removable. And that would be another alternative instead of actually drilling holes. Whichever one would be preferable, it's no real problem for either mechanism. So that was the nature of the temporary sign. But then I was thinking about the more permanent solution, and that would be to get a traffic control device approved sign, such as the 2x2 yellow, and the appropriate posts, so that they're all certified safe, and install those. And my expectation would be there would probably be two signs, one for each direction of traffic, so that it would bracket the area of interest, much like you'd have signage for a blind person or a deaf person, rather than actually one side at the crossing. So there would be two signs involved and installed. And the idea there was to make a donation to the town to have the installations done, so that there would be a net zero cost to the town itself. And it would be either through fundraising, direct donations, a patron, whatever mechanism, but the ultimate goal would be able to present a check to the town for the purchase and installation of the sign. I also have some business cards for Turtle Rescue with me. We also do volunteer work and are members of Millstone Wildlife Rehabilitation, an organization in Wyndham that actually cares for injured wildlife. So I was just going to leave those for reference for anybody that's interested. I think that's about it. If there are any questions.
How many of these signs do you currently have?
I actually think I have 10 more.
Oh, really? Okay.
We bought, they sell them to their volunteers for $10 a piece, so we just bought 10 of them, figuring we would put them up, wherever. And that does bring up a point, is what you mentioned. One of the things we had planned to do was to use whatever resources were available through New Hampshire Fish and Game and the state biologist to determine the most appropriate places for the signs. As well as potentially, if there are residents, Mr. Gannon is one, said he sees a lot of turtles in his area. This one's for you, by the way. And use whatever appropriate means that we can to identify where they would be most effective.
I have a question.
Sure.
How are you going to decide which kind of signs to use? You don't install, because they're going to be different prices to install.
Well, I guess I guess for the town installation, I would expect them to be the permanent signs. These ones mostly.
So the town installation would have to be DOT approved. So that would be something that Kevin could chase down, get a cost, figure out how much a sign
Okay,
is,
so
how
it would
much
be
it posted.
it wouldn't be a 24 by 24 sign.
Well, they're 24 by 24 diamond
Are they?
reflective, yeah.
You can get them 12 by 12, 18 by 18, 24 by 24, and up to 36 by 36. And
most of them are, 24 by 24.
yeah,
so you can
24
see
by
them.
24, 18 by 18. I think there would have to be a balance between the actual need for the sign and the warning that would give to the area versus obscuring traffic flow. So it may be the 12 by 12 or an 18 by 18 would be more appropriate for
Yeah.
some location than a 24 by 24.
I'm sure Kevin could probably determine,
Yeah.
get the prices for all 3 different signs.
Do we know how many we need? Where the main locations are?
From my meager knowledge, and I will qualify this by saying I'm not an expert by any imagination, by any stretch. Most of the time, the areas are going to be where there are in fact access to wetlands. So predominantly in Litchfield, it would be the area of the Chase Brook and Bixby Meadow area, which would encompass, Page Road, Albuquerque, Pilgrim, and some areas north of that. There are some areas along Talent Road that have access to wetlands. I think predominantly they would be in the southern part of Litchfield, but I would have to do more research to know for a fact. That's why I would involve the New Hampshire Fish and Game, because they actually have a program which keeps track of turtle sightings.
Good.
Wouldn't Joan have, I thought Joan,
I'm sure Joan has some knowledge.
she knows where all the polywogs are, so.
Yeah, John was at the meeting on Thursday. So
I think they
initially,
rescued one last weekend or the weekend before. They found a
yeah.
turtle and had to pull over and get it to safety.
So initially, the question would be is, can he install these? Are they allowed on the side of the road? And then can he
Yeah.
put a couple clips on the wood, which I would say is okay. I'd rather the clips than the holes drilled in. And then those, the other locations will be in the ground. The concern is how long are they gonna be there? Are they gonna get blown over? Are they gonna get lost? Which is why I like the idea that he presented long-term, aluminum signs.
I would probably prefer the long-term ones too, but.
Yeah, I mean, seeing a sign like that, I wouldn't want Kevin to have to
Chase them around with the windows.
have to present that as an obstacle to him.
Yeah.
If they're
Yeah.
falling over or moving, you do something more permanent, but then now you gotta meet the regulations of the roads,
Yeah.
making sure that if you have a turtle crossing where it sounds like you're saying down by Page and Cutler, it might be too close to the corner of Cutler, you might not even be able to put it in.
Correct.
So that's where a temporary sign might be more feasible, but again, I don't want that to fall on Kevin if they're gonna be the temporary signs.
Well, would it make sense to, I think in concept, I think it sounds like we would be supportive of it, especially if they're fundraising and paying for the signs too. But would it make sense to figure out where those areas would be of concern, what you would propose there for signs? Maybe working with Kevin to figure out what's the right DOT size sign for that, so we actually understand what the whole scope is.
Yeah, so first get your locations.
Yeah, figure out what the
Then come back
locations
to
are,
get
so that we
Kevin.
can understand the impact to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of turtle crossings in Litchfield.
I was gonna say, I think there's a lot more than you think.
No, I'm sure there
Hillcrest
are.
has like 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say Hillcrest, I think I'm pulling
Hillcrest
turtles
has
off the
like
road all the time.
5. Talon has 4 or 5. Pilgrim has 4 or 5. I mean, we have so many turtle crossings. I can't tell you. Some days you can stop 3 times to help turtles across.
Yeah.
The
when
wetlands
they're
up by
really moving.
Brenton and Century, they're there all the time.
Huge,
Yeah.
huge. Some roads are more difficult for them to cross. Because
One
the road is
potential,
easier.
actually, that brings up an interesting observation. I believe it is Keene has actually put in a culvert specifically for turtle crossings.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
But to your point about the numbers, that's absolutely true, and it's the RARP program, RARRP, which is a reptile and something reporting process. Basically, it's an online form that gets sent to New Hampshire Fish and Game, and one of the things that it does do is it identifies wildlife where it was seen, whether it was injured, deceased, what kind of wildlife it was. So I think that would probably be helpful in identifying specific areas where there are known areas where there have been a lot of fatalities in an area.
That would be a good place for a sign.
And I think that would probably be a prudent place to start. Because like you said, if, with the amount of wetlands and wet areas in the town, you would have hundreds of signs, and I think that's
Yeah.
unrealistic.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, some roads, they definitely like, there's places where they get hit more frequently.
Yeah, it sounds like to me, the next step would be figure out where those locations would be.
Yep.
Work with our road agent to understand what the DOT requirements would be to do permanent signs. I think would be our desire.
Mhm.
And that would give us a cost. And then if you're able to fundraise that, great.
Okay.
Is everyone agree with that? I mean, it seems like,
Yeah. It's a great project, it's just, we want it to be,
yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like then I should take away an action item for myself to contact the road agent, to then discuss with him.
decide where you want your locations first, and then talk to the road agent, because
Okay.
then you'll have, I want to put a sign here, I want to put a sign here, and then he can actually tell you what the
Okay.
obstacles for each of the areas that you want to
Okay.
put them in could be.
Okay, well, I was thinking for the temporary signs as well, because one of the things, like I say, if we do have the authorization, I would like to make sure that it is noted appropriately so that there's no question about who's doing it, what the roles are and responsibilities are, and so forth. So in the case of the temporary ones, my wife and I would have no problems assuming the responsibility for installing and removing the signs whenever appropriate, so that the road agent would not have to be concerned with that. And if there was an issue, simply contact us and we'll be happy to remedy it and address it. But that's something I think would be appropriate to talk to him about, to establish a process for doing that, so that everybody knows what the expectations are, so that there aren't any questions about, well, did you mean this, did you mean that? Just eliminate all of that.
Is there a typical time frame where it happens more often, like breeding season, or like, because you never see turtles in the winter.
Yeah.
You rarely see them in the fall.
You were saying March,
My wife could probably update me on this, but my recollection. Come on up, okay.
You tried to hide out in the back, it's not happening.
Okay, then you got to introduce yourself
Actually, I
now.
got one the other day, so but not a lot, I haven't seen a lot yet.
Hi, so I'm Teresa Kelly, I'm Mark's wife, I'm at 15 Foxwood Lane in Litchfield. So typically what happens is you'll start seeing the turtle sightings come like mid-March to early April. The females are usually on the move, well, the males will come out too, but they're looking for breeding grounds so that they can lay their eggs. And that can extend as far as into like July. And then what happens after that, the turtles, you'll see an input where they spike up, and then you'll see a more gradual number of turtles on the roads and such. Then as it gets to be the fall, they'll start moving again, so they're trying to find locations where they don't hibernate like a bear hibernates, but they do, I forget what the term is, but they do go into a semi-dormant state. So what happens is through October and November, you'll see them starting to move again. And they're just looking to get to a safe location so they can they can survive the winter for it. That's why the last turtle recross last year was like mid-November, which is a little bit late, but not unusual because the weather patterns are changing and stuff. So then from mid-November through March, you're probably really not going to see anybody unless you had some odd occurrence happen for it. It's different than other wildlife that you may see all during the year that are out foraging for food or whatever they might be doing for it. So that's typically the pattern. You're looking at March to November for it. So the temporary signs could go up early in March, and then we would take them down in, mid-November and stuff.
Now, would you coordinate with property owners to get permission to put the signs out in front of somebody's house or whatever?
If it was on private property, yes, we would honor I guess there was recently, I forget whether it was Senate bill or House bill that was recently introduced for exactly, that was one of its goals, and we would follow whatever recommendations were there.
Very good.
In both cases, the signs we have up now are at 59 59 Page and 54 Talent. In both cases, we were there actively crossing turtles with another resident. And each time, the homeowners were very receptive. We asked for direct permission, could we, if we provided the sign, can we put it on the property? And they were like, absolutely, we see turtles here all the time. And in both cases, they said, I don't understand why the town doesn't have signs up here so people know to slow down. And in both cases, the people were actively, if they saw the turtles on the road, they would go out and help them get across and stuff. So I think there's a genuine interest with a lot of people in town for it, and there was no hesitation. They're like, absolutely, you can put a sign up. And so we thanked them. So we don't have written permission, but we did get verbal permission to do it.
So I think we're still at the same spot, right? Figure out where you think those signs need to go, especially in those locations. Then once we do that, get with our road agent and our town administrator to coordinate what the cost looks like. And maybe prioritize the signs you wanna go up right away. And then I guess we'll figure out if you're gonna fundraise for it, or get direct donations, we'll have a number, we'll know what the cost is, and then we can figure that out going forward. Yeah, and then we can accept the donation too.
Okay.
For the signs.
Just to tie one thing off, so would the expectation be that the same meeting with the road agent, once the locations, we would discuss both the temporary and the permanent signs? Or should the temporary ones be a separate discussion? For like the guardrails and that position, because that does have a bit of the same problem with obscuring vision and so forth.
I would say do both at the same time.
Okay.
Definitely coordinate with our road agent.
You
Kevin
saw him
Brown.
sitting here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's a good guy.
Speak with
very easy to
him.
work with.
Yeah, he'll do what he can to actually help you get
Give
it
you some
done
directions.
temporarily.
Okay.
But I think ultimately, what is the scope of it, right? Are we talking about 5 signs, talking about 40 signs, and then, how many spots, right? You already know where one high availability area is, and that sounds like it'll be your first target, Page and Talent. And then you get all of, what's the road down, North End? No. Oh, by Chasebrook and all that.
Oh, Pilgrim.
Pilgrim, thank you. So I've got 5 people I know, and I can't remember the name of the road.
Yeah, Brigade.
So, yeah, so I think, let's go start from there, and then, once you have a list, get with Kevin and our town, with Kim, and figure that out, and then we'll figure out what the DOT costs are, and then go from there.
And we'll come back here.
You have to come back here, yeah.
Yeah,
And find out
I would
how many
focus on
and
the
where.
permanent signs though.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I
definitely.
would
And
too.
use the temporary signs as like as an option if he says that it would be a bad location for a permanent sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way I would kind of
Yeah.
approach
I
it.
would too. Those are really big.
Yeah,
I was gonna
That's my
say,
first.
I was gonna say a 24 by 24 is large though.
Yeah.
that's what that is, right?
This I believe is a 24 by 24.
It's a big sign.
Yeah.
And if you're looking
24
at
by
a
24.
diagonal sign, I mean, that's, this
18 by
big.
18.
Maybe it is.
18 by 24?
You could go with
Yeah, that's a big sign.
It's a very big
24,
sign.
yeah.
I think most of the ones I've seen have been in the I think a lot of them are like a 12 by 18
Or 12 by 12, yeah.
Yeah.
or 12, if it's a diagonal.
Doing it
12 by 12.
diagonally, yeah,
And if they're yellow, then you're gonna get your,
yeah.
you're gonna
Your
get your
site.
sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to become an eyesore
Mm-hmm.
for a good cause. You
Yeah.
know, it's a really good cause, and that might turn me off if that was gonna be right outside my driveway.
That's where the first one's going.
No, I don't, my plantings use my wetlands, and they come right up and they bury in my garden. So, they know where they go.
And our next meeting is June
It goes
8th,
in my
so
pot.
if you can
I like turtles.
accumulate
it's
where the
good.
locations are and
You should
start
have
that
with
coordination,
snappers,
Very meaty.
come back on June 8th, we'll get you on the agenda,
Okay.
and you can approve the whole thing and move forward if we can
Okay.
get it funded.
I think if we can target a few strategic locations to start with, just from talking to everybody, like Diane was saying, there's a lot of like 5 places on Hillcrest. So, in the first pass, we're not gonna be able to get, 100 signs up. I mean, that just isn't feasible. But if we know there's some high-traffic areas where there's a lot of, unfortunately, injuries and deaths, that's where you want to target to
It's
prevent
also
them.
really, it's a, cause I stop, I'm a turtle mover.
Yep,
I
same
do-
here.
I do.
Thank you.
But it's kind of a scary street to stop and do them, especially if you're looking at a snapping turtle, because they are mean. and you wanna have something in your truck that you can move them.
heel and just move them.
No, 'cause
You
they-
do what?
Just slide them across.
You know, car mat, out of your car.
Snow shovel.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, car
Yeah,
mat.
but it's-
Really well.
But it's not a quick one, like the rounder turtle, the ones that don't bite. I mean, I just pick those up and move them across.
I'm always dealing with little ones.
But the snapping turtles are big, heavy, and they will bite.
Well, actually, they're not as aggressive as people think. They have a
Oh,
bad,
I've done
they have
it
a
before,
bad.
and I've had them come after me
But
big.
the little ones, you can just pick them up,
Yeah,
they'll
that's what
tuck
I
their
do.
head
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah.
And you can just move them across.
We have some
or
pretty big
The
snapping
bigger ones are
turtles in
heavy.
Litchfield, too. Yeah.
You can also get behind them and kind of duck walk behind them, and they'll move, but if you've got a bigger one, you know, I take a towel, I just toss it over their head, they retract their head in,
Yeah.
and you can kind of scoop them in,
Yeah.
so. Or, sounds good.
How's the best way for them to get a hold of Kevin? Should they go through you? Should they email him?
I would say email is the best way, set up a time, just to make sure that he's at the highway garage and they're
Okay.
not out in the field somewhere. Set up a time, either Kevin can come here or you can go to the highway garage. But I do agree, finding the locations is the first step, and then we can figure out what type of signs you need.
Okay, I can certainly email, would you like to be copied on the emails just to be kept in the loop? Or do you-
Kevin, yeah, Kevin.
Or do you
will
want,
keep-
don't want any more
Kevin
email
will
than you
keep
get?
me in the loop, I'm sure.
Okay,
But, and if, you know, if it requires fundraising, things like that, we can help you along.
Mhm.
And try to pass things in our newsletters or, you know, through our website or our social media.
So Kevin's email is just simply kbrown@litchfieldnh.gov.
okay, I'll probably get that from the website then.
It is on the
Yes,
website.
it is on the website.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
If you want that clip, that's right there, and I'll take your cards, please.
You could just put it right in front and then we'll be on TV all night.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
That's
Thank
false
you.
advertising.
All right, let's do the tax bill via the email.
So Josh, you don't have to stay all night. You can come see this lady in the
You
morning.
can scoot in now. if you-
Okay.
Ms. Brian, who would like to step forward?
Certainly.
Thank you for your patience. So what do you got?
So, with the cost of postage going up again in July,
Going up to
84 cents, I think.
84?
So,
Some more of those forever stamps.
right. Well, I did buy my envelopes ahead of time because, yeah, trying to get them. But anyway, so I was thinking a lot of towns, what they're doing, there was an email that went out on our group, the tax collectors group, on doing the tax bills through email. A lot of our residents or a lot of our tax bills are paid through a service. So we send out a file to these companies and they gather all the escrows and the taxes. You'll notice your tax bill comes out, like 2 months before it's supposed to be paid. So as soon as we send out the bill, they start collecting the money. And then they do a wire transfer and they send it to us. So most of the residents do not send their tax bill to their mortgage companies. We send them. So what I was thinking we could do is we're gonna put a flyer, if it's okay with the board, put a flyer in this tax bill that they can sign up for their tax bill to be sent to them via email. They would have to sign a form that gives permission with their email address. It's not the same as your motor vehicles. If you're signed up for motor vehicles, you're not signed up for tax bills. This is separate. The law states that they have to sign this form and put their information in. So on the pamphlets that we're gonna send, there'll be a QR code, there'll be our email address. They can stop by here and fill out the form. but they would have to fill out this form before we could email anything to any of these tax bills to them. It's not a permanent thing. If they decide that they don't want to send, they don't want their tax bills sent via email, they can opt out of it. They don't have to, there's no opting out, I'm sorry. You don't opt out of it, you have to sign up for it. You're gonna get a paper bill unless you sign up for this. If you change your mind, then you can go back in and you can get rid of it.
And the paper bill will be something in the email that they could download as well. if they
Yes,
need, right?
it'll be the exact bill that they're getting
Okay, just
in the mail.
electronic form.
It just comes through email instead.
Perfect.
Will they be paying, can they pay for it online then too? Through
Yes.
Voice Cloud?
Yep,
be on
it will give them the link to the, our portal,
Mm-hmm.
to our website, which links them to the portal to pay their taxes online if they would like to pay online.
So
They
it'll
can do it by check or they can do it by,
It'll work just like the registrations do. Okay.
yep. And we do have several people that pay their taxes online now, through this portal. But I'm just, like I said, it's starting to get very expensive. A lot of people like the email with their with their registration, so this is a separate thing. They can sign up for this and we can send it, and, if we save 60%, and these are $1 a piece to send them out, when you figure the envelope and, the paper and,
So this is just what goes to the taxpayer, the regular one that goes to their mortgage company. will
so they
still
don't
go.
actually, the mortgage companies don't actually get a bill, they get a file.
Yeah.
I send the
Okay.
file.
You still receive receive your tax bill from the town even though you don't pay it.
Right, yep.
The law actually says that we
That
have
one
to
too.
send it to the taxpayer. We send it via email to the mortgage companies as well.
Perfect.
And if they pay it online, is there a fee associated with that?
There is a fee, there's always been a fee if they pay them
Yeah.
online, but yes, it's, I think it's $1.95 if you use your check,
Yeah.
and then 3.25% if you're using a credit card.
Write a check, people.
Right,
Don't play the points game, doesn't really work out for you.
right.
So you're saying they have to sign the form, though?
Yes, they have to sign up for it. There is an RSA, that says that if they choose to do this, then they have to sign up for it.
So can they sign that online, or do they have to do a
Yes.
physical signature?
Yep, so on these forms that I did,
Yep.
there is a QR code.
Oh, nice.
They can use their phone and go right to our website. The form is not there yet because we need approval first. It will take them right to that form and they can just sign up right there. You can come in and sign up for it, or you can go to our website and sign up for it.
I would probably make it a regular question to ask people when they come in and register their cars as well.
Yes.
You'll
Yep.
probably get a better response from that,
Right, absolutely.
because some people might want you to walk them through it, or,
Yep,
So I
and we
think
will
that'll-
definitely do that. We'll help them with whatever they need to.
QR
Would they,
codes are pretty
yeah, give us a vote.
so-
Yeah,
If they
they also
scan
can-
it, do they still have to sign it?
No.
No,
Because if we do it online, what'll happen is Terry's gonna send me the form so I can make it. It'll be a form. It'll track when they do it. They'll get the right address. They sign it. They'll check off to approve it. They can scribble their signature on it online too.
if they want.
Yeah, yep.
I don't
Yep.
do- okay.
So, yeah, if you can send me that form too, I'll do that.
Yep, I'll
Form
send you
number.
everything. But, I'd like to get these out when we do this tax bill. Of course, they can't do it with this tax bill, but by December, we'll mail out the tax bills like we usually do. The, December tax bill, I'm hoping that we can send some of those via
Even if
email
it
and
cuts
save
it
some
down.
money.
so are you gonna put something in the tax bill, like a little flyer?
This is gonna go, this is what I'm asking the board for permission to
That-
put this in the tax bills.
Okay.
And then we can do something on the town page, and then we can.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah,
obvious-
just like we did with, something else that we recently did. Oh, signing up for the emergency,
notification, yeah.
yep,
Yeah,
same thing, we'll get it
Obviously,
out
this is
there.
not the real one, right?
No.
right.
Sample,
I know, but like
QR
on the
code
bottom,
doesn't work.
the
Right.
name is, the address is wrong, and.
Right.
So this is just truly a
mine
sample.
is correct
Okay,
on the bottom, and the town of Litchfield is on here.
Okay.
But it's
perfect.
not on those, because I didn't want those out without approval.
And I'll get you the QR code, you put in that too. I'll send it to you as a PNG, so you put it all.
It's a great idea.
I think it'll save us a little money.
This could be fantastic if we can get,
Yeah.
like you said, 60%, 50%.
If they're going to their mortgage companies anyway, plus all of our mail now is not going through Hudson anymore, it goes through Boston.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but all of our mail goes through Boston now. If you look at your mail when you get it, it's got a postmark of Boston on it.
That's why it's gonna cost you $1 for a stamp.
That's why it's, yes.
Think
So,
of
if it's going to a mortgage company anyway, why not get it via email?
Right.
This will also help the people that call up and say, I need a copy of my tax bill for a closing or for,
purposes.
tax purposes, they'll have it. So,
Okay. So I'll make a motion, we approve the proposal as presented by our tax collector, Terry Breen.
Second?
Motion made by myself, seconded by Ms.
I'll
Plansky.
third it.
Third it, fourth it. Further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500.
Terry, thank you.
thank
This is a
you.
great idea to try to save some money.
And
Yes.
less paper mail, better off. Maybe we
Less
can give it in my
paper.
mailbox someday. It's mainly junk.
It's all that comes to mind is junk, it's all it ever does.
Thank you.
Right, Terry?
See ya.
All right, seeing that it's way past 6:45, and although we have not had any public, other than the folks who are here on the agenda, I'm gonna open the floor for public input at 7:36. Unless Matt wants to talk, I'm gonna close public input at 7:36.
Do you want to come up and talk?
Do you wanna come up? Yeah, okay.
7:37.
So, 7:37 is closed public input. Next up is Hawker and Peddlers Ordinance Review, first read for everybody. And I think, Steve, you were the one that asked for this, huh?
You bet I did.
And so you'll see that the notes that are attached there, we did look into it. There is nothing that requires a town to approve hawkers and peddlers. The difficult part comes into it with you need to check your ordinance. Because if your ordinance says if you follow this, and this, the board will approve, and you deny, now you have a problem. So we wanted to go through the ordinance. Maybe the board wants to revoke it entirely, but the safe thing to do is to say the board may approve. May approve, may not. It's not holding you to anything. The main reason that towns do regulate this is so that they have some sense to fall back on if people are just out there. So it's safer to regulate it. It's safer to put the board may approve, because then that doesn't tie you to it. So I put the ordinance that the board had approved back in 2023, and I think we just need to decide what the board's intentions is. Do you want the process, and then at the end it says, I think people tend to get a little bit more frustrated if they're going through this whole process, getting
they get
background checks, and I mean, because it's a lot. It's not just coming here and filling out a piece of paper. If they're going through all that, I think we need to make it very clear that the board may not approve it, regardless of what they've done.
But we have to have a policy, or we can't refuse them.
Or can't stop.
Or, right, or you can't stop them.
Right.
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 So that's the kick.
So let's do that.
Absolutely.
So I think you have a policy that says you need to do this, this, and this, but the board may or may not approve you.
Because it might be somebody we want to be able to go.
But if you start saying yes to some and no to others, you're opening up a big can of worms.
The other thing,
Technically, ice cream trucks, donut trucks, all are supposed to have
Yep.
peddlers and hawkers license.
Yep.
Right.
So we are going to
But
have
they're
some
not
that
coming
come in
door,
that we
but
say
they're not
yes.
coming door to door, that's the thing.
That's-
That's where the whole
Right,
difference is.
right.
So we'll
Yeah,
allow
but you
that.
know when you hear that music, that's just as predatory. It
Sounds like a grandfather
Every
talking
grandchild
right
goes
there.
crazy.
doesn't bother me, I'm the first one there, but, I mean,
The other thing I,
got me
The one-
hooked.
There used to
had
be people that didn't
applied.
like it. I remember back when I was a
Have
kid.
been here
Mm-hmm.
year over year.
Yep.
So I guess my question is, why would they need to visit the same homes year over year? I mean, that just
They
seems
do.
excessive to me.
they do.
If someone,
Every
had-
year
if
they
someone
come
has said
people.
no, they've said
They,
no.
every year they come, someone new
Different
comes. They, cause they have a list of people they'll acquire, and there's new people coming.
Does this prevent Jehovah's Witnesses as well? They're not a hawker, right?
No, that's, I
No,
think it's
they're
a-
not
that's a
selling
really-
you anything.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the religious people on you now.
I'm just asking.
I don't think it stops, I don't
I
think
want
this,
them to come
cause I don't think it stops political people, religious people, any religion kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
I don't think you can. The only other thing I was thinking about too is, you know, I think changing it the way you say May is great.
Yep.
But I also think we need to have a time limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the last one was over a year, and it's like, that's, I think that was the other objection part.
Easy.
If you say you wanna do it for 30 days, maybe okay. But a year, I don't know. 2 week, whatever. To me, it feels like there should be
There
a
should be
maximum amount and a minimum.
some
Yeah.
time constraints put in place.
So we wanna look at time, we wanna look at May. Do we wanna have something as to how often they can come back, not every year, over year, over year, over year? I mean, I've only seen the same company here.
Is it the same company?
It is the same company every year since I've been
But
here.
it's different people though.
Jeez.
Different people.
Yeah.
Same company.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and those, I've talked to those folks and I know how they're paid on the lead that they actually get a call back on.
Right.
And so they're incentivized to hit every door they can, hoping they'll get 1 out of every 10 or 1 out of every
And you
25.
try to focus on an affluent community
Correct.
that has homes in the 20-year range.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
We got plenty of those.
So I don't know if the board wants to take a look at it and shoot over your questions, your concerns, your suggestions.
I just gave you mine, so.
I'll also, we did poll a bunch of different towns, so we can, load those up, give you access to those, so you can look at those.
That'd be good.
I'll probably run it past, the chief, see if he has any suggestions that, for changes he thinks we should make, and then we'll bring you back something at the next meeting,
Yeah, but I would definitely focus on May approve.
May.
I would definitely
Yep.
focus on timelines. I don't know if,
Yep.
I think 2 weeks.
the only issue with doing like, say, 30 or 60 days is like, you're gonna get your ice cream truck that's gonna have to reapply every 60 days if you did that. So I don't know, I don't know what a good time frame would be, but a year is certainly way too long.
Yeah.
So I wanna be clear, I've never seen an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
We do have a couple, donuts,
But they don't go house to house. They go to
They
locations.
go to locations.
but they do a hawkers and a peddlers regardless.
They have to.
And.
Can we make
and-
that a different
So
kind of
Thanks.
peddler?
So does the
Space
barbecue
does.
guy need that
Yeah,
too?
he
He
does,
has one.
he has one, so.
As a
Though
peddler?
that's why it was a year, it was for those type of people that, number one, their trucks are inspected by the state, I mean, there's a lot more that
Can we
they
do
have
two
to go
kinds?
through.
That's what I wanted, can we do,
Yeah.
you know, door to door is limited, but, you know, center location.
Door to door could be a month, but food trucks.
Things where they're
Would be-
licensed by the
I'd
state
still probably go around
especially.
Yeah.
6 months, but,
Yeah, because that would be
No
every
more.
season.
yeah.
There's no fee for it, right?
There is.
There is for
There
the
is a fee,
hawkers
yeah.
and peddlers, yeah. There's also a fee for the food, the truck inspection through the state,
Okay.
so. Okay, so
If we
it
can
makes it a little bit more.
If we can
challenging.
separate them by categories, that'd be great.
Yep.
Because the food truck guy, I'm fine at 6 months.
Okay,
but I certainly don't wanna give a 6 month to somebody that's going door to door.
I don't think they'd take 6 months anyways. They're paid to get in, get out.
No, I know, but
you know.
you might have them strategically
Yeah.
do it this year in May, and they might do a push next April off of the same permit,
Yeah, but you don't do a year. Yeah, I would not do a year.
so.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to start, though, categorizing
Mhm.
the different types. Okay.
And we do,
Yeah, because
Diane,
there is something in here, it's hawkers and peddlers, and then cart vehicle and separate operation.
Yeah.
So there are two definitions in here.
Yeah.
and Diane, we do have the ability to waive their fees like we did for, the Allen's Donut Truck. When they were doing something in town, we waived their fee.
Okay.
So if we feel it's right to do, we can.
I
I
would say
mean,
the same
I'd
thing
be
with the
okay
ones
with
that go down
waiving a
in the
fee
club.
if it was for a town event,
Right.
But it
That's not,
usually is.
but not
Not
if they're gonna use
sure.
it for a town event and then for the next 6 months somewhere else.
Okay.
That sets a precedence.
Yes,
yes. that-
that's
That's
favoritism.
fair, that's
Yeah,
a fair
yeah,
judgment.
and that could happen too.
Yes,
Okay.
All right,
okay.
so you'll get us access to the other examples, work on those 2 or 3 things we just mentioned.
I would love it if we could get people to stop knocking on our houses.
Yes.
Just put a big dog sign out
Yes,
front.
sir.
I'm just in there barking.
All right, moving on to personnel plan, or personnel policy, personnel plan. Ms. Kleiner?
So, there's, 2 parts. So, the first document that is in your portal is a totally clean version of the plan that has taken all of the feedback from the department heads. Not to mention, Ms. Briand and Ms. White and I have met several times to go over older language that needed to be cleaned up. The second document is a list of changes. So if we made a change in the clean document, it's listed in the second document. So you have the old and the new. Just so that you know what was changed, we found that the marked up version was just getting too complicated, and becoming difficult to read. And that was the feedback we heard from some department heads. The third part is a proposal. And so I'm here, representing, our department heads, who felt that we needed to have a mechanism for when the steps are not competitive to the market. And when does that happen? So, in instances like now, the current economy, where your inflation is much higher than the difference between the steps, your people are not being competitively paid, right? So inflation is far outweighing their annual increases. So we looked at how could we figure out when that occurs? And we felt the easiest way is to look at 2 different. There's the ECI, which is the Employment Index, which is put out by BLS, the government. And then there's the CPI, which is commonly used. We look at that during every budget season. And the CPI will tell you, okay, that's the rate of inflation. Look at it for the last year, and you can average it out month to month. So we know the CPI for this year it's like 3.6. And the ECI is there as well. So the ECI is what wages in the market is going up on average. So both private and public. So if that's what the wages in the market is going up, say it's 3.6 or 3.5, and your steps are 2.5, there's a 1% difference. That could become your COLA. Right? So they're getting a step and a 1% COLA if they had a satisfactory review. Now, that's only going to happen in years that inflation is high, because there were many years in the past the CPI was 2.1, 2.3, 2 point. I mean, we saw it 2016, 17, 18, 19, the CPI was down in the twos. They wouldn't get a COLA because inflation isn't higher than their steps. So I think it's a fair assessment on when to give a COLA to the employees. And I think you want to keep them competitive with inflation and with the other jobs within the market.
I have a couple of comments. So one, when we created the job, I'm gonna go back to when probably you and I were on, and we redid the whole salary plan. It was based on market. We did an assessment we're supposed to be doing an assessment every 3 years to re-level. None of that's ever happened, obviously. And we moved back to the STEP program because people didn't like pay for performance. Now you're basically, we're getting paid for performance in
Yes.
some respects.
A step.
And a
paid
step. You're getting a
performance.
guaranteed step plus an increase for performance if you get it. I wanna make sure our employees are paid competitively. That's my first, I totally agree with you. If we're below market, we should go out and do a whole reevaluation and re-level the whole program if we have to.
Kim did that a couple years ago.
But we
it's been a
did do
couple-
that, and what it showed was that your program had drastically failed.
Because no one did
Because
it.
our people were way below.
Because no one did what they were supposed to do. That's what I'm saying.
What were
We
they
originally,
supposed to do?
they were supposed to go back and reevaluate the market every 3 years to make sure we were keeping pace with the rest of our surrounding communities and everything else. And no one did it. Our fault,
Okay.
everybody's fault. But now we went back to the step, which I'm fine with, I get it. But the STEP program gives people automatic movements in pay scale every year, whether their performance is good or bad.
Well,
Automatic.
no, they're not supposed to get a step. If they have an unsatisfactory review, they should
Well,
not be
give-
getting a step.
Give me one, well, I won't ask the problem, but
Right.
the point being is that, everybody is pretty much where they're supposed to be to get a step increase, in my opinion. So, and I think we have a really lot of good employees and they deserve their step increases, totally do.
Absolutely.
But we moved back to this plan to get it so that you were, if you did your job right and did it good and well, you will get your step increase. So if that whole level set is still failing, then we need to go back and just re-level it, not add arbitrary numbers.
I think that's what she's saying to do, but
Yeah.
to look
Well,
at
here's
it.
1%, that's what's driving me nuts.
But it's this year, it's 1%. Next year, cost of increase could be down, in which
Right.
case there'd be no COLA.
There'd be no COLA.
This year, it's really expensive. Next year, not as much, because the ECI and the CPI go up and down every year.
Right.
They go up and down more than every year.
Well, I don't know who's got a raise in the last 3 years. I know I haven't. And my costs are going up every day.
I've got my first one in the last 6 years, last year.
So I haven't had a raise in, let's call it 3 years.
That was two.
That makes me feel bad if pizza hasn't been in.
Huh?
Nothing.
So every year, the Municipal Managers Association, we do a survey of each other to see what the increases are. And so the past 2 or 3 years, especially after the big increase of the 10% at the state level, right? So that was the last thing that Governor Sununu did was give everyone 10%.
Exited.
Yeah, as he exited. So after that, we've seen on average, most of the increases are 3 to 4%. Okay. So, having said that, what we started our steps at, that was a total market analysis. We went out there and we got
understood that.
salaries from everybody, and as a group, all your department heads together, we sat down and said, okay, here's the low end of the spectrum, here's the medium, here's the high, dependent upon where people are, how long they've been there. That's what your steps are, right? The length of service, and if their pay should increase as they're here longer, as long as their performance is good, right? That's a step. That's what the steps are representing. And I think we said at that time, and I remember it was Dr. Queenan said, we need to go do that every 3 years.
Right, yeah.
But on the in-between years, we should at least be adding a step and subtracting the beginning step. Because your new people are not going to come in at that old step anymore. The market has already increased.
Didn't we talk about that a couple meetings back? And I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
the
Yes,
exact same thing?
so-
At the bottom
Just
step,
shift it up,
shift
right?
it.
So
agree
I
with that.
have the analysis, I did the analysis on what is in the town budget, what we budgeted for. We budgeted for everyone to get a step, but if we subtract the bottom step, no one's gonna be on it because everyone would have already moved up to 2, that was new. So that's fine. There's only one person that will move up a step to the new step at the top. That's costing the town about $600. So to take away the bottom step and add a step at the top, like we said we would, that'll cost the town about $680 to be exact. And I think that needs to be done. The other idea to stay, the COLA idea was to stay competitive with inflation, and we are trying to think of a way, which I think we did. I think this is a solid way of giving employees an extra COLA when inflation is high and their salaries aren't competing, but not giving it to them on years inflation is not, right? Because ideally their step would have been enough to keep their pay competitive.
What would happen if we go into a default budget on a year that we would be giving, because inflation's high, we get a default budget because the residents don't want to pay the increase. So we would not be able to give them that COLA at that point.
That is correct.
And we, also may have to freeze the steps.
As it is stated in the personnel plan, that it is, both are at the discretion of the selectmen just for that reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Fortunately.
like I said in the beginning, I want our employees to be paid competitively. This is not what the conversation, I feel like we keep on missing the every 3-year refresh, and we're doing the same thing. We're catching up, right? We're always catching up. And I don't know, tying it to inflation, I'm a little concerned about, but. I think the reality of it is, if you look around the surrounding communities we have and the ones that are on the outsides, we are now losing that battle again. We spent
agree.
a lot of time back when I was on the board originally, and when you first got on board to kind of get everything back up, and we keep on trying to make up.
Right.
So, but I just don't want to do it, I don't think we should be doing an arbitrary increase every year without
Right.
understanding what the drivers are, right? But.
Correct.
But we don't want to reevaluate the entire pay scale every year either.
No, every 3 years was the ideal way to do it.
Right.
And
But the world is moving faster than every 3 years, which is why we're falling behind all the time.
Well, and you also have a unique situation. I mean, it's not totally unique, it's across the country, but it's more so in New Hampshire. You have a lot of people with municipal experience that are reaching retirement age. And you're gonna see even more next year. They're just aging out and they're retiring, and you don't have the people coming in to backfill those positions that really, have experience.
Cause the
And
pay
so-
scale doesn't match.
That's right, because they can make more money in the private sector, right? But it's a large concern, and we've seen it, especially this year with town administrator, town manager openings, finance directors, and they're having a tough time filling those jobs.
The thing that we do have that the private sector doesn't have is the pensions.
Mm-hmm.
And that is still
Great benefits.
very valuable
And excessive amounts of time off.
and a reasonable amount of time off for people that are stressed every day.
Mental health days.
What a municipal doesn't provide is bonuses, but what they do provide
But
is
as-
stability.
Is the private sector like throwing money around for bonuses right now either?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Depends,
Yeah, it depends.
bonuses.
Even that has changed, I think, in the private sector.
We get longevity bonuses.
In the private
Yeah,
sector?
but your longevity bonus could not compete to my AB bonus. But I don't get that anymore either, so.
Like I said, things are
Yep.
changing.
Yeah, that's why, if people are moving up the step and their wages are increasing because of their time here, I have a tough time. I'm not gonna be the one arguing for longevity. I think I said this before, longevity was based on this fact that it was going to help retain your employees, and surveys have shown that does not
It's
work.
not enough.
There is
It's what people are making, it's what you're giving me now, it's not what you're gonna give me after I'm here 20 years. It's not.
We're not taking.
Well, the other reason was because we had people at the top of the scale and there was no place to go, and that was the way to do it. But
Right.
I think, to your point, if we start ratcheting the number, it'll give us some place to go versus just giving an arbitrary $1,000 here and $500 here. But- All right, so
So I think this is first read, and, looking for your feedback.
how do you want our feedback? Do you want to just open up the,
I'm waiting for you, Bob.
I'm not.
how do you want our feedback?
coming.
Do you want us to want to open up the clean document for comments so we can read through and comment there?
Sure. Yeah, I'll make a copy of the.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
I'll make a copy of the clean, and I'll share it with you, and you can comment on it right in the document. Now that it's cleaned up, it'll be a lot
It's a lot easier
easier.
to read.
Yeah, and I like how you put the changes on the other side. That will help me too.
Oh, good.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So,
Very welcome.
Bob, any comments?
Thanks.
Well, how many steps are there? We'll
8.
start with that. So there's 8. So you can achieve 8 separate steps. And you get a raise every year, up to 3%.
So
And then
the-
you want to put a COLA on that. So
No,
you
it's
get your
2.5.
longevity
Yeah, it's
bonuses.
2.5, Bob.
2.5 of
Yep.
the steps.
Yep, and the longevity, after so many years, you get bonuses. And you add on top of that, you got a great retirement system. You get, like Steve said, excessive time off. I mean, there are so many perks to working for a municipality that in the real world out there, you can be let go tomorrow. You're not gonna get let go in a municipality tomorrow unless you really try to get let go.
Things have to be real bad.
They have to be really, really bad.
That's why I'm trying to
I mean, where does it stop? Where does it stop? And I'm for paying people, but I would get rid of all this other stuff and just go to a yearly raise,
And how much would you give them?
up to 3, maybe in rare occasions, 4%.
Wow.
But all our
That's
salaried
quite a
people,
bit bigger than
well,
what
they-
we currently given.
no, we usually do up to 3.
Yeah, but I think we've only seen 2 and
2.5 for the
Yeah.
steps.
Well,
I'll give 3.
2.5 for the steps. So what she's saying is cost of living is 3.5.
And we also
But I would
ca-
get rid of all the other stuff.
Every
And then 3's
every
not so bad.
contract we've ever done has been 2%, 2%, 2%.
Yeah.
And that's another challenge you're gonna have with contract negotiations coming up now too.
That's right.
So,
So,
not that much of a factor.
back when I was on the board,
That would be today.
That's today. We're flashing back. Go ahead.
the whole step per year was trying to get pushed in, and we always refused it. Because it takes the control away from the board. Okay, so we continued to argue keeping the COLA and then giving steps as an award because somebody did something to advance.
Right, that was the performance.
So the COLA was the typical raise every year.
Right.
And the board set the number based upon the timing, the funds that we had available, all of that. So, and we would also not do a blanket. Someone might get 4% because they did exemplary that year. But then somebody that's just muddling through might get 2. The market could say 3, doesn't matter. That was the way it was done. It was all based on performance. Here you go.
Well, that, when you left and I left, that's got abolished.
I know, because this was trying to get put in then,
Yeah.
and I was very against it when Troy was trying to propose it, because it made it a guarantee.
A lot of municipalities use steps, right?
Yeah.
It's a common
Most
practice.
municipalities do.
Most,
Most,
yeah.
most.
And a comment I made then is a comment I'll make now. Having something that's a guarantee would probably cost you in the end, as far as I'm concerned. If you are exceeding, you are doing a great job.
Yeah,
I'm
I
happy
agree.
to give you above what the average is.
Right, with the step, you're guaranteed amount regardless of, unless you are a true underperformer, but if you're doing your job, you're getting the same as somebody who could be jumping through hoops. Which, so what's gonna happen is people aren't gonna push harder because what are they gonna get for it?
That was the argument back when Jason Hook was here and we went to the performance med. That was exactly the argument, was that you're getting mediocre work because everyone's guaranteed something. Right, and then you talk about, but again.
That doesn't guarantee they're gonna
Then
do,
your
What happens if they fail?
evaluation process is flawed.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
Because
the evaluation process is because of this.
mediocre work is not meeting expectations.
Well, barely meeting expectations is mediocre in my book.
Meeting expectations is saying that
You're doing your
you're
job.
performing and you're doing your job. If you get below that, you should not be
You should not be,
getting a
you
step.
should not be getting a step, but I thought steps were
No,
guaranteed.
absolutely
Yeah.
not.
I thought
Because
steps
they're
were
not doing their
guaranteed.
job to acceptable levels.
I thought steps were guaranteed.
But that depends upon people evaluating correctly.
Right.
that's a popularity game sometimes.
It's not a popularity contest.
It shouldn't be.
Unfortunately, I've had to give bad evaluations to people that I think the world of. It's not about.
When you have guarantees in place, it takes the control away. And I hate to say it, when you take the control away, that's all you get, is
And,
what's in place.
and who was the board looking to give you recommendations on how much you gave each employee?
That
There
was
was
the board's
supposed to be an
decision.
analysis every year to tell us what the coming rate should be.
But-
So at budget season,
John, did you understand my question?
Who was making the decision whether the employee performed above and beyond versus
Yeah.
not? It was it was their department
Department
heads.
head.
It was always up to the department heads.
Phyllis?
Still is, yeah. But I do think, I will say this, and if any department heads listening, I think they drag their feet. I don't think it's done, I think it's rushed. I don't think they actually put a lot of effort into what they're doing.
But they
So
also-
this year,
But they
we
also
just
know
went,
it's a step.
but we
So
just
they're
went
not gonna
through
put in much
reviews.
effort either because
Did every
it's-
employee
it's a
that works
guarantee.
here get 2.5%?
So I did not, there were no evaluations this year that were turned in that were below meeting expectations.
Which means everybody got the 2.5%.
Which, no one's gotten anything yet.
No,
So
but,
no
but
one's-
the recommendation would be with the reviews that we've read.
That's on, yeah, that's my second point. My second point is, and I'll be very, you know me, I'm very honest with you, for whether you like my idea or not. We budgeted for increases April 1st.
Right.
That's what's in our budget. That's what our personnel plan originally said January 1st. We realized we couldn't do that because of town
The
meeting.
budgets, yep.
We had the discussion here,
Right.
but because our personnel plan has been in draft, it still says January 1st, but we only budgeted for April 1st. My feeling is if an employee earned a raise, they're sitting there waiting for us to,
Give it
the
to
board
them.
to do something. And I think it should go back to April 1st.
I think we all agree on that. You don't agree on that? That was the day, that's the day that the budget was passed. You
I
can't
mean,
do
we
it
should
before the
back pay
day the
anybody
budget
who
was
gets a
passed.
raise. Yeah,
It was
I
passed
agree
in
with that.
March.
I found that.
Well, it was passed in March, but it's
So,
business.
I mean, finance, payroll is just keeping track of the hours each week in case we have to do that, in case that's what the board decides.
Well, I mean, the fact that it didn't happen April 1st is the failure on our side. We didn't get the personnel policy, we didn't have the adjustments we wanted to do, so it is up to us to fix it, but, and I think if we agree to move forward, they should get their back pay. This is my take on
So no one got a raise this year?
it.
No one's gotten a
We
raise
just
this
were looking
year.
at
So,
the
so
reviews
working
right
off
now.
of last year's budget, which was default. So the budget that just passed in,
proposed.
the budget that was just passed in March, when does that take effect? January 1st, right?
But we didn't authorize.
It did,
but we
January
didn't-
1st,
We
yeah.
did not authorize.
The one that just passed in March.
The one that just passed in March
Said April
started
1st.
January,
But said April 1st.
but said their increases
No
wouldn't start
budget
until
increases
April
occurred
1st.
until April 1st.
Yeah.
But last year when we were
Okay.
in default,
We still gave them
and
their
they
increase.
still got their reviews, they still got their raises last year.
That is true.
And that was kind of, we worked really hard to make sure that they still got
did.
their reviews and their raises.
So,
But that is up to the board.
so we're falling behind, how much? Like 10% on average with employees, 5% on average?
It is very much a difference in not gonna be the most popular person now. It depends upon the position.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
obviously.
Yeah, that's,
So you have positions at the top that are way below market. And you have positions at the bottom that are way below market. And then you have some in the middle that are actually pretty right on. But, yeah, that's why, like, some of the employees that have been waiting since April 1st, those are some of the employees that might be on the lower grades, that their wage already isn't competitive.
So, every employee in town has received a satisfactory review.
meets
Correct.
expectations, yeah.
Yes.
I haven't gone through all of them, I've gone through
There's a
the
cover letter.
majority of
The
them.
cover letter looks like that all.
Yes, so we've had a few employees that have, left the
Yeah, I
town.
have them here.
Everyone that is still currently employed has had a satisfactory review.
So, and the assumption is they get their step because they had a satisfactory review.
It is.
I'll make a motion that we approve the step increase for all town employees based on the reviews.
I'll second. Motion made by Mr. Perry, seconded by myself to authorize the step increase for all employees that meet the satisfactory level.
Dating back to April 1st.
Yep,
Discussion?
Back to April 1st.
yep, discussion.
Discussion.
By
Now,
step, you say raise.
step raise, which is the 2.5%.
2.5.
5%.
And what I want us to do as a board is, as we were just talking about prior, we need to go through this and fix it. Okay? So maybe we can go through the budget this year and maybe there's a little money left at the end of the year where we can try to modify things. Maybe there's not. But if the assumption is, and it was budgeted for this step, it's appropriate to do it and date it back to April 1st.
We should
Because
be
that was
holding
the
them back
intention.
because of paperwork.
Correct. Paperwork has always
Well,
been the
not only
issue.
that, that's what we budgeted and the way we were approaching the year.
But we need to fix this process, and I don't know that taking steps away from the bottom and adding them to the top is the right thing either, because what might be the right thing to do is adjust the whole pay scale by a percentage, not changing steps. And if that's the approach that we decide is best, we can do that next year, and then the step can literally be like a promotion, like you achieved 5 years at this level, you go to the next one, or 3 years, whatever it is. but that's just my opinion at this point,
Definitely,
until we go
definitely need
through it
real
more.
work
You mean
here.
go-
So
I'm
if you
sitting
would
here
like- if
confused
you-
on what the right answer is, for
I-
sure.
If you would like us to go out and get the same wage data that we got 3 years ago, you know, from all the different towns, especially the ones that are our size, right? Because you don't wanna compare us to
Location.
Manchester
Yeah, but it's also, it's good to get the our size, but it's also good to get
surrounding.
the parameter, just so that you know
Go to
that
Manchester.
you don't wanna be
Yeah.
drastically lower than every town around you, just because they're a lot bigger,
Right.
Correct.
because
They
that
can
makes
go
it easy
there.
for people to
Yes.
jump.
Yep, it's not a far drive to go to Manchester, so I definitely think we should include it as well.
Okay, so we'll work on that. And then, so that we can get you data so that you can
Okay.
figure out how you.
And then we can do a
But now
workshop.
we're-
We could use a workshop on just this topic,
Yeah,
not in a meeting, but in a workshop, to really sit down, look at all the information that you can get for us, and talk about, and probably a non-public one, so we can talk about what people are making, although that is public information, isn't it?
right, yes, it is
It
public
is.
information, and I will tell you that I just wanna caution, this is where we get every year. We're right around the corner from budget,
Yeah, we are. That's-
right? So, I mean,
So,
anything we do is going to be budget related. You wanna know what your employees make?
so I mean, my
There you
thought,
go.
my thought process on this is the fact that this could take us months
It could.
to do,
To
to
do it
develop,
right,
to fix, to
do
get it
correctly.
right.
Took
Yeah.
me 9.
And we shouldn't make our employees have to wait.
No, this is
I
what was
agree.
budgeted
If that
as
was
well.
what, if this is the system in place, I mean, I didn't make this system. I'm just looking at it as this is what we have to work with, because that's what's here.
I didn't make it either.
So if we were giving the 1% COLA for inflation, that would cost, cause I, you know, cost us all out, that would cost the town, and I'm now, let me be specific. This does not include union employees, this does not include contracted employees. Just your unaffiliated, it would cost the town $6,900 if you did that extra COLA. I just wanted, but I will,
How much would it cost?
6,900.
So now I'm
So on
gonna
the
ask,
page 2, that last column.
so now I'm gonna ask a question.
Yes, sir.
We just hired a new person,
Yes.
and we've just, I don't know if we promoted, someone accepted a new position
Someone
Oh, in the fire
tax
department?
office.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
tax, okay, yeah.
Do they get a new step after they just got,
So, no.
because they just got an increase?
Didn't we move it up one step, though?
So, she moved grades
Oh, okay.
because it's a new position, a higher position, which she moved grades for April 1st. She will not get a step.
Correct.
She has, if she makes it through her 6 months in that position, then it's the department head's discretion to make a case to give her a step
Okay.
after the 6 months review, which comes to the board.
And the building inspector position stays the same because that's what it was offered, and he has no tenure in order to get,
He can't get a step yet, right, correct.
Okay.
Well, I think the first step is 6 months. If he
6
gets-
months if he gets all his
certifications.
certifications, yes.
Yeah, that's the condition.
I just
So-
wanted it to be perfectly clear.
And so we wrote it into the personnel plan very intentionally. If you get hired, because we had employees that were coming in December, right? That does not mean that they automatically get a step in April. Right? So, if you are eligible for a step at the next annual, it will say so in your job offer. Because there are times when we intentionally go a little lower,
Because they will
and
fit into
we
the
know
cap.
at the 6 months, we're gonna, if everything goes well, we're gonna give them So we left that discretion to the department heads and the board. It will say in your job offer if you are eligible and you've been hired within the last year.
Yep.
All right, any more discussion on the motion?
Was your motion, did that include the COLA?
No,
No,
No, it's just a step increase.
just the step
2.5.
increase.
Step increase
Which is what's budgeted.
plus retro pay since
April 1st.
April first.
Retro April first.
Yep. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries 500. You have a lot of actions.
I know.
Anything else for the topic?
I just need to step out for 1 second.
Ladder's too small.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So what I would like to do, though, is to agree that we do a specific workshop is when you get this information that is for this topic, that doesn't go over anything else, that isn't shortened by anything other than its own self, as opposed to we have other things to do as well.
And perhaps we just do it another night and we
Yes,
have a
agreed.
whole bunch of data. And, okay,
Because it needs that intent.
And-
I agree.
And would it be a public meeting? Or would it be a non-public?
It could
Be a
either.
workshop, so,
Well,
I don't know.
Because I'm saying we
Every
can
meeting
always
has
use the,
to be
we can always use the back room too, my point. It could be open to the public, we just don't have to record it, I guess.
that's just it. If you have a workshop,
It's open to,
you're not gonna stop the public, obviously, residents from ever coming in, but there's no requirement to tape any of your meetings.
Okay.
right, we just take minutes of what we had.
I would like to just definitely
Yeah.
look at, so I'm gonna spread it all out and see it all and touch it all and say, okay, we're really here, because I just, the more we talk about it, the more, I just don't know which direction is the right direction to go. We have to be good stewards of the town's money.
Yes.
And we also have to be competitive when we're bringing in the right people to help us run this.
I know the last we did
Popsicle stand.
did the change, it took us months to get to agreement, so.
It's a very fine line, just for that reason, Diane,
Yeah.
I get it. Totally do.
All right, moving along, abatement tax map 7, lot 82 through 101, Ms. Kleiner.
So we didn't ask Avatar to be here tonight, because there's really no sense. The information, so that some of the information that was provided is non-public information because it provides its tenants information. So, the Dara Village had brought, an abatement through, which you denied earlier this season because of lack of data.
Right.
About a week later, they provided all that income expense, data to Avatar. And it does qualify for an abatement. Lauren has written a detailed letter there as to why. And it has to do with the detailed breakdown of income and expenses. And so she has made a recommendation that the overall assessment be reduced $467,700. That's over 20 units, so that's spread over the 20 units. And they'll individually apply an amount to each unit. There's a few units that are a little bit different due to age, due to size, so some will get 23,400 off and some will get 23,300.
And then the total amount is this 23.3?
So the total amount, the assessment should be $2,245,000. And that's, of course, these properties, you gotta look at the intent of these properties. They are low income,
supplemental.
and they're subsidized. you know, so, then you look at the condition. It's very hard to fair market value these, cause they're not out on the fair market, right? You have to be eligible to be able to live in these properties. So that's why they resort to the income and expense
So there's this,
model.
there's a rental amount that they receive from the occupants, and then there's a subsidized amount they get from the state?
So they get their money, they get the same that anybody else would get. It's just split between the homeowner and the government. So, I find it hard to believe that they're only worth $210,000 each. I find it very hard to believe that.
Well, the land's
With
not
the-
part of it, right?
Right,
The land's not part of the,
the
what
land
they
isn't
own.
part of it.
They only own the house.
But think of it this
Somebody
way.
owns the land.
So,
Yeah, they're, whatever.
The people that we're
Who
going
owns-
for, yeah,
The people that own the buildings
the
own the
people that own the
land.
building and get the rent and
but
the
a
subsidy.
large part of your assessment is what is your property worth on the fair market,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
These are not of that. They're not out on the fair market. They're not going to be sold. They're not. That's why the assessments, it's a little
lot
bit
lower,
different,
yeah.
and you go off of what they're actually making.
Well, of course
versus
they're
the
not gonna sell them,
expenses.
cause they're a gold mine. Why would you sell something when it's making you money hand over fist?
And you're not putting any money into it.
Not really, yeah.
Okay.
So do we have to pay any penalties on this, like we did last time? Then we get hit with, interest?
Period.
Oh, we always have to pay interest on this.
Even though it was
And
their
so-
error, it was their error, submitting it without any,
Yes, you always have to give interest back to the time period that the taxes were paid. So you're holding their money and you're,
and I find that irritating because they became part of
Re-
the
re-
amount that we had to charge our taxes.
Regardless
So
of
we'll
who
never
made
get
the
this
error.
back, let alone with interest, because they didn't get it done correctly and on time.
yes, that is some of the frustration that I have heard elsewhere. But it's not uncommon. I will tell you, this is how it happens with large developments, whether it's subsidized or not.
Something we wanna talk about when we get to check.
You know, we put an overlay, I think I did email the board to say we have an overlay of 50. After this, we're
Yeah,
gonna, we
that did
will
make
have
me
paid
feel
about
better.
35, so we're still below. And then we have one case going to the BTLA.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve approve the abatement.
I'll make a motion to approve the abatements for tax map 7 lots 82 through 101, Dara Village, recommended by Avatar.
Do I have a second? I'll second. Motion made by Mr. Gannon, seconded by myself. Further discussion?
Do we have to approve this?
Yes.
Or
Well,
you're
no, you don't
going
have
to
to,
the
you don't have to
BTLA and
approve it,
you'll lose.
you can say no to it.
Well, we'd lose if we fought it.
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's the belief anyway.
and possibly more.
And then,
Pay
all
the
right, go ahead,
penalties.
call your vote. Get your pound of flesh, let's go.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Okay.
Opposed,
Opposed.
abstained, motion carries 4-1-0. All right,
All right,
moving on.
real
Please.
short.
They're not losing money, I'll say.
Police
So-
union contract.
I did hear from, the police union, asked me, and they have asked if I can provide them a list of our negotiating team, and we will work with them to develop a tentative schedule. I would say, once we receive that tentative schedule, I did put the current contract out here so that board members could look. And your representatives, your negotiating representatives would come back to the board in a non-public, cause it's, negotiations.
Yep.
In a non-public to get your,
So I think the only decision we need to make tonight is who our negotiating team will be. So,
is correct.
my assumption would be Kim Klein, our town administrator would be one of the parties. I think we typically will have two more selectmen be part of it. Anybody wish to do it?
I do. I sat on it last time.
Anybody else?
it was so much fun, he's coming back for more.
I'll do it.
I was gonna say, my only problem is my schedule isn't very flexible.
I saw you looking at me. I'll do it.
Okay, so I would say, and Karen, so forth?
That's fine.
Yeah, Karen was there last time too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Our negotiation will be, committee, whatever you wanna talk about it, will be Steve Gannon, Diane Plansky, yourself, and Karen White.
I will communicate that to them.
All right.
I would
Sweet.
just preface this by saying that in the last contract, it was more than generous, because they had taken a couple of short contracts before, and worked with us during some budget troubles, and if you look at the last contract, it was very, very generous on the town's behalf.
And I think
So you're
they're
saying the last one made up for
Made
the
up for it
prior?
and some.
prior ones.
But it get both ways. They
But
also
we did get
gave-
health concessions.
Yes. They
Yeah,
gave
oh, no,
some
they.
very
We
good
got
good-
health
contract, but,
concessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lowered the
I-
buyout,
And, yeah.
yeah.
I've heard them speak highly of it.
I will say we'll have these discussion in non-public, but I would just also remember, after the same conversation we just had with the regular employees, the union contract has the same issue.
It does.
So,
Yep.
so we'll have that conversation in non-public at some point.
Okay.
All right, moving on, BOS bylaws amendments, so, I sent it in, so I guess I'll talk about it. So this for consideration anyway, I have two changes in the language, I guess, that I'm kind of suggesting. One is around, in the bylaws, it's under Article 5, it's called the gender management, just to kind of make the language align to what actually happens, and I assume was happening in previous iterations of the board also. The current language says the town administrator shall be authorized to exercise discretion and judgment in scheduling agenda requests with the goal of efficiency and effective board operations. Requests may be referred to appropriate departments or boards to allow investigation or development of background material to facilitate the board's discussion-making process prior to being scheduled on the agenda. What I'm proposing is just a quick added change, I guess. Town administrator shall be authorized to exercise discretion and judgment in scheduling agenda requests in consultation, I can't even say the word today.
Consultation.
Consultation.
Consultation, thank you, with the board chair, with the goal of efficient and effective board of operations. Requests may be referred to the appropriate departments or boards to allow investigation or development of background material to facilitate the board's decision-making process. The only thing that was happening is that we inserted the word in consultation with the board chair.
Yep.
That's it.
That's the
I
way
think
I
that-
always knew it before, so.
That's the way it always was
That's the
me,
way
and I
we
was
do
surprised
it.
it was always blank, and I didn't know that, and I wanted to make sure that was, that was clear. That's proposal one.
It's a big change.
The second one is really clarifying the duties and requirements of the board. And I want this underneath Article 3, duty section, primary duties, add this language. All members of the Board of Selectmen shall review and sign the weekly accounting manifest no later than the close of business on Tuesday of each week. It is the responsibility of each board member to complete the review and signature by the established deadline. The town administrator shall be responsible for ensuring the manifest is made available to all board members in sufficient time to allow for review prior to the Tuesday deadline. We raise this because there are many weeks, there is one signature or two signatures and not even a quorum of the board. And, we went from having a meeting every week to bi-weekly or twice a month because we had the process to go in place and do all this, and we had a town administrator to help facilitate that. They do need to be signed. And, so anyway, those are my two proposals to be added to the language.
What if somebody's out of town?
The real purpose here is to make sure that there's 3 signatures.
Yeah, I
because
get that, yeah.
Technically, payroll and
Can't be.
manifest should not be paid until we've approved them.
Right.
Agreed.
So the fact that it can go 2 weeks, or
Mm-hmm.
forget about 3 weeks if we don't have a meeting,
Mm-hmm.
in theory, we're paying people that hasn't been signed off and approved.
No, I agree with all that, but if somebody's out of town, if they're gone for an entire week, they can't come in and
I'm
sign it.
leaving tomorrow, I won't be able to sign it.
You better get back here.
I can't physically.
Well,
do it.
again,
You already signed
I
off.
just can't.
The other, all 5 have to make the attempt to do it, and if you can't, you can't, but at least
Yeah.
then there'll be 4.
at least,
Yeah.
or
There'll be
3 or 4,
there'll be
yeah.
4, yeah. I-
We're not
I
even getting 2.
absolutely will.
No, I'm guilty of that, I'm sorry.
Yep, I'm in
I am
town,
too.
there's no reason I shouldn't be in here doing it.
And I'm, you know, I will say this too, in this day and age, I'm happy to explore the opportunity of, here's an email, approve. And don't come into the building, but the idea is to look at the manifest,
If
review
I'm
the
gonna get in trouble,
manifest.
I'd rather see it.
Yeah.
Have the opportunity to go through it.
I typically make it my Monday to stop here after work anyway, and sign them, and I
And it's
usually get
open
to
later,
see
so.
Kim for a little bit and have a discussion if there's any questions, or just regular old bull.
And I know, I think we have a key problem for Kim's office.
We do?
Well, I need to get a key from you to go make more copies of it, because
Oh,
we've run out, and
okay.
somewhere along the line, they've been lost over time, I think. But maybe the other thing we can do is everybody's key fob will open up the town hall side, the main part of our selectman office, and we just move it and put it at where the treasurer sits, then come in and sign it there.
Okay.
Cause it's all public stuff anyway, and it's all should be there, and it's in they created it, so they all know what's in there.
Yeah, except, well, so Deb's in on Tuesday, so, she'll be sitting there. So if she's sitting there, I mean, it can be on Heather's desk. And there's nothing that says, I've already reviewed
Right.
every single
Before it
thing in
gets
there.
created. For the
Right,
checks
I
to get
review
done.
all their time cards, I review all the checks before they get cut. There's nothing that says this needs to be in the TA's office.
Right.
It can be
just
wherever is
always
most
been a secure place
convenient
to put
for
it.
you.
It used to always be there just because it was locked.
Yeah. Yeah.
It used to actually be in a drawer.
But finance is, do you all have access?
If you have a
to
key
those?
fob, you have access to that to the main office.
Okay.
We don't have
So
access to Karen's
if
though.
Deb's at her desk, we'll leave it, it'll be with Heather.
Yeah.
Cause she cuts it anyways. And if, if Deb's not there, Heather will move it to Deb's desk. It'll be in one of those 2 places and, but we'll still get keys, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm supposed to
when you
do
went on
that.
vacation, I was forgetting before
I
you left, and I
know.
forgot to ask you, and you didn't do it, but I'll come
Karen
by.
has the key to my
We
office.
couldn't, no, her key didn't open it.
Doesn't open my office? Always did.
I don't think so. Okay. Well, we'll fix it. We'll fix it. No problem.
My key opens your office.
Yeah, it should. Again,
I don't have a key to her
we're
office.
we're missing one key, and I think
I didn't
we don't,
get
I
one.
think you have a key, right, Bob?
I have a key.
Yeah, okay.
I have a
So your
fob.
key should be the town hall master, it should open all these doors.
I've used it one time in 7 years.
Probably.
And, yeah, and
I
so
think you have
I'm
key.
gone Thursday,
We
John, I
don't-
can
yeah,
leave
yeah,
it,
yeah.
with- I'll leave my key with
Mine's
you
in my
on
drawer at
Thursday
my
when I
house.
leave.
Fabulous.
I won't be here Thursday,
Oh, okay.
but I'll be back, I'll be on Friday, so if you give it to Karen, I'll grab it from her, I'll go run over and get it right then and there, and come back and bring back your key. You just have to go to the London to get cut, that's all. Not a big deal.
You got it.
Still looking for the invisible fob.
My records show you have a fob.
It's blue.
I will get you another fob.
Well, I don't know, I'd make him find out where
Don't
that
need-
other
don't
one
need-
went.
It didn't go to me. Don't matter. I wouldn't use it anyways. I only opened it one time because the budget stuff was in there,
Getting late.
for budget committee.
Okay, alright, so I guess I'll make a motion to adopt the new language as we read.
Second.
A motion made by myself, seconded by Mr. Perry. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 500. So Kim, if you can update and add that language, that'd be awesome.
And I promise I'll be better.
Oh, sure.
All right, next up is the discussion around Memorial Day Parade and event attendance and the next BOS meeting. Obviously, We have the Memorial Parade come up on Memorial Day. Typically, we do walk the event, so kind of asking who's gonna walk the event with the selectmen. I know, Bob, you do your car typically, right, so you won't walk the event?
Sometimes I do.
Okay,
I can possibly walk.
all right.
I mean, last year I didn't know we were walking. Kim and I were at the Old Town Hall, and then we saw the rest, you guys coming up.
I'd like to walk all together. I think that would be nice.
We did that my first year.
I
Yeah,
won't be
we've
in
always done
town.
it before too, so.
It'd be kinda nice.
This time you can walk, but you can't get out of line. You have to stay. You were slowing down traffic.
I was not.
Oh, you were. You
I
were.
was giving out candy.
You were slowing down traffic.
I wasn't slowing
Yeah,
down
you were
traffic.
like,
No
come on,
way.
Diane. Come on, Diane.
All right, so we all plan on being there then?
I will not be in town.
You won't be in town, okay.
It's the Monday, yeah, I'll be here. I'll be home
I
on
should be
Sunday.
back for, it's what, 10:30, 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock is
10
the
o'clock's
parade.
the parade.
Well, actually, parade starts a little before 10.
Yeah. So,
I'll be
I'll
there.
make every effort to be there.
okay.
If I can, I'll be there, but at this point,
Drive the
I'm not
Mustang?
planning on being in town.
Sure.
With all the
Can
selectmen
I?
sitting on top of it?
I had all my grandkids in there one year.
Yep, you did.
All right, the other thing is, obviously, that's our typically our last May meeting. You know, I don't know if it makes sense to even try to schedule, looking at the calendar and the room availability, there really isn't a whole lot of space. The thought is we probably won't need it, and we can just move it to our meeting in June, and pick up the business there. But that's open for discussion.
Say that again?
So our Memorial Day is our meeting day too, so we won't be having a meeting that day.
Right.
We can move it, but if we move it, it'll either be the first week in June anyway, and we'll be having a meeting right afterwards. And I think the first Monday is actually CIP, so they won't be on Monday, it would be like a
We could do
Thursday.
Tuesday though, right? Could we do Tuesday?
Tuesday, I think, is rec or planning,
Planning.
I think that week.
Oh, yeah.
So it really, the only time I could find was probably Thursday maybe, but I think that's conservation. And I think that Wednesday, I think, is school.
Is there
board.
anything pressing?
No, that's what I said. I think we could kind of just wait till the second Monday in June. If anything comes pressing and it's time certain, we can always
I was
Call
gonna
Call a
say,
meeting.
you can either do a discretionary, put it out there and then decide to cancel it, or you can just wait and see if something comes up and then
Yeah.
call an emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point we can cancel it, but we'll wait and see how close we get, and we'll just formally cancel it as we get closer. And we'll poll the team too and see if it's okay. All right, cool. So we'll see everybody at Memorial Day. Next up is the police chief
Do
and
we have to
police.
approve the parade for
I
the Memorial Day parade?
Haven't we already?
thought we did,
Did we already approve it?
I thought we,
I hope so, because the state permit came back and
Did it?
Mr.
Okay.
Calawa
We've done
and
it
Chief Jones
Perfect.
have it.
Let's be certain
I
and
don't
say,
remember now.
I make a
remember.
motion to approve the, Memorial Day parade, where we start from the middle school and work our way down to the Old Town Hall.
I'll second that.
Oh, you got it.
second collide. So motion made by Mr. Perry, seconded by Mr. Leary to approve the parade route. Discussion, no? All in favor, say aye.
Just that the veterans donated the little flags this year. They
nice.
donated like 300 or 400 flags for them.
Nice.
Another thing that Bobby did.
That's a nice touch.
He's been really
They
busy
always
this
do good
month.
stuff like that. That's really good.
Yep.
All right, so if we didn't approve it already, we have approval.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was more of a just in case.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to remember, I know we approved a bunch of events back in March, I
We
thought.
may
Yeah, I
have, like,
don't think
I think
that
we
was
did it, but that's
on
okay.
there, But
just don't want to last.
I know
minute.
that Margaret reached out to me, I know we posted on LCTV, we posted in a bunch of places for her, so and we're gonna do the sound again, the LCTV's gonna do sound and probably record the event too if we can.
yeah, I just got the state permit back.
Okay. All right, next up is the police chief, police captain, contract negotiations. This is only to put together the team to have that, start the conversation. Contracts are up at the end of the year. Obviously, we're going into budget season. We want to get this kind of ironed out if we can, sooner than later. So looking for people on part of that. I would suggest we separate the union and this
I
be
was gonna
separate.
suggest the same.
I'm happy to do it. I mean, I work with both people. I do know the benefits. I mean, I know what they do and I understand what they do and I can do that if it's okay.
I'm happy to do it as well.
Bob, you want to do it or anything?
I don't have a problem with it, depending on when you want to have the talk. If it's in the middle of the day, I have trouble with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
I mean, it shouldn't be a lot of talk, cause we kinda have that already set up in the contracts
Right, right.
and whatnot, so. But
Well,
yeah.
why don't, if it's okay, Steve and I will at least go out, reach out, figure out what the asks are, or maybe what we'll do, we have to have a non-public to obviously discuss what they are, so we'll, in our next meeting, we'll pull the contracts, we'll look at it, we'll have a conversation in non-public, and then we'll approach them about, starting the negotiations, and then if we have to pivot on people, we can do that too.
Yep.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so we can notify the police chief and the captain that it would be Steve and myself.
Okay.
And we'll be in touch with
With them.
direction. All right, next up is just, is the signing of the police chief's contract, sorry, fire chief's contract, sorry. This is something, we've already approved this in non-public, and so we just need to approve, sign it. Obviously, we had it last meeting, but we didn't have enough members to sign, and so we thought it would be appropriate to sign it with a full board. So, I guess, do we need to make a motion that we approved it in non-public, right? So,
Yes, but you need to have a motion in public.
so I'll make a motion that we approve the fire chief's Doug Nichols contract effective, May 29th, 2026 to May 29th, 2029.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything else I really need to say there, right? Yep. So I'll make a motion that we approve the contract as agreed to, effective commencing on May 29th, 2026, and it'll terminate and expire on May 29th, 2029.
I'll second it.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Mr. Gannon. Can we highlight what's in here?
Yeah.
It's public now, right?
It's on the portal.
Yeah, it's public now, so-
It's on the portal.
Just for the public, the negotiation was basically, effectively, from a compensation perspective, it's a 2% increase this year, 2% in 2027, and 2% in 2028. Nothing else really changed. The chief, we did reduce his paid holidays from, I think it was 7 or 6 to 5. And that's it, realistically.
And like the other contracts, it's paid time off, not earned time.
Correct, we did move from
PTO, yep.
PTO to paid
Very
time
good.
off. I mean, sorry, from earned to PTO.
Yep,
so.
yep.
Yep. All right. All right, any other discussion?
Did you make a motion?
Yep.
Did we got a second on it?
Yep.
All right.
Yep, motion made by myself, seconded by Mr. Gannon.
Good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 500. So we just gotta sign it and get Doug already signed it, so. There you go. All right, next up is, check discussion. Check. So I mean, to Diane, I'll turn it over to you to start. I mean, I asked to have it on there. Obviously, I listened to your first meeting, and I heard the dialogue, and I got really concerned about whether this committee was even gonna be useful, whether we could move forward.
Yeah, well,
And some of the legal opinions were made. We did reach out to legal, got a legal opinion from our town lawyers. So, let you
It
describe.
was a great meeting.
Can't sign this one.
Okay, yeah, that's why,
Everyone had
so it's all set.
a huge amount of participation, and everyone had the value that I assumed that they would when we were talking about who they would be. But one thing that did come up was the legal opinion that we wouldn't be able to buy the land and turn around and flip it. And that's probably true, but what we would have to do is we would have to come up with a committee that would run that part of Litchfield. It would be a big change for us, if it was something that we would want to do. It's good that we know that we can do that. We still need to explore that land to find out what parts of it, are valuable. I ran into Jay, at the site walk of the new multi-use, across the Wooden Creek. And Jay said he would come to our meeting and sit with us and talk to us about what it would entail to do that. So yeah, we can go forward. The way we originally were was, can we find a way to be the first buyer of that land or parts of it, if there are parts of it that would make sense that we could turn into a commercial use. Some of them have already talked themselves out, some of them have not. But yeah, it's still gonna be worthwhile to go forward and to have a tool that we could use if we wanted to do it. It's a great, great group, and we have all the assets in the world to draw from.
When you said Jay, you mean Jamie and Kara, right?
Yeah, oh, yes, mm-hmm, yeah.
So the way I read the legal opinion was, we do have to we have to go to the voters and ask for the committee to be formed, right? But
We would
that
have to.
mechanically, we could continue the investigation
We
as
have to
we.
adopt the RSA.
What's that?
We have
You
to
have to
adopt the,
adopt the
we have to adopt the
RSA.
RSA.
Correct. So, go ahead.
The legal, citing that was mentioned at your meeting, is very much true.
Yes,
In
yeah.
31, right?
Yep,
There has to be a valid public purpose.
yep,
But what RSA, and this is welcome to New Hampshire state law, because this RSA says something that this RSA corrects, that this
Right.
one changes, that one,
Yep.
that's just how our state system works. So the other RSA 162, if adopted by the town, says economic development is a valid public purpose.
right,
So it completely solves the 31, 3.
yep,
And I think it's a good thing to have adopted anyways, because you never know when you're gonna have a valid economic reason, and even the purchase it still would have to go to the voters anyways, because it's gonna require most likely a bond. You're not gonna have,
Right.
$2 million laying around that, so it at least gives the town that option.
right.
To-
Which I was, I was like, oh no. So it was good to find this out, this legal opinion, and then we can go back, now we have a good reason to go back and look at the land again.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it was like, it doesn't kind of matter. I mean, we're really not looking to put a big park over there, which would be a municipal lease, municipal use. We're not looking at putting a town hall over there, which would be a municipal reason, or a school or anything at this point. And even if there might be a big enough area, but those aren't what we're looking for it for. We are looking for it because it's in our commercial district, and we want to know whether or not we can decide what kind of commercial property will go in there, as opposed to a large multi-use, a large use.
So, but the mechanics would have to be, if we're prepared to do something, it would be in the March town meeting.
Yep.
We would put
Yeah.
forward a warrant article to create the committee.
Yeah, to adopt 162.
And then could we, if we actually had a plan that we have to formulate or whatever,
Yep.
could we have another warrant that says, if this is adopted, we would like to proceed with bonding something or doing this or doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
But if 162 failed, even if the
It would
other
just
one passed,
negate.
it would still wouldn't be
Then we
valid.
couldn't do it. We
Right.
couldn't do it. But we have a lot of things to find out, and then once we find them all out, we need to find a way to get all that information out to the voters. Because there are some
Yeah.
people do know about it, some people do not. CHEC, standing for the Circumventual Highway Exploratory Committee. I hate acronyms, but that's just way too long without having, it's a cute little acronym for it too, so. But, yeah, I mean, it's important that more and more people find out about what could happen to that property and what other things we could possibly do to it. So watch the next meeting. Jay's gonna come to the next meeting, so it's not gonna be the last, Wednesday of May this year, this month rather. It's gonna be probably June 11th. I'm gonna check and make sure the
Okay.
rest of the board can make that date, or a large percentage of that. Because Jay's experience with this RSA, is invaluable to have there. So,
And so there's a lot of municipalities out there, like when we started researching into it more, because, like I think Mr. Charbonneau said, I'm familiar with BIDA and the city version,
Right.
I wasn't as familiar with the town version, but going out and actually, there's a bunch of towns that have done exactly this.
Okay.
Just to either expand their tax base because they needed that, or they needed to create jobs. Or sometimes it's in exchange for infrastructure. So you get a business that comes in and they need some type of infrastructure to make their business work, and they help pay for that infrastructure. So there's, other things that can come into it other than just straight purchase and sales.
And we'll be exploring all of those things as we go forward and learn about the land and what's out there for that as well. So it is excellent.
It's
Thank you.
very important.
Yep, it is. Minutes.
Did you see it?
No.
They're on the town website.
They're on the town website. Okay, thank you. I was looking for them today before I did this. I didn't see them. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it then, right? So we have a direction forward, so
Yeah, I'm much,
plow forward.
yes, we have a great bunch of people that are gonna be working
And if it's,
on it.
if you're good with that date, I'll at least move your meeting from the other one to that,
Let's,
so that
let's
we
leave
lock
it
the
for
room.
that. I'll
Okay.
send a notice out to
take care of that
everybody,
tonight,
and, if I get a big objection to it, then
Thank you.
then
Okay.
we'll have to change it again, but.
All right, that concludes the business side. Now we're going into our town administrator report.
Which is still
Hi.
business.
Well, yeah, it is.
So,
I was trying to transition and went, oh, wait a minute, town administrator report's here.
the 2027 budget schedule that we put forth, the board asked that I go back and speak with the department heads. It was overwhelmingly not excited about a Saturday in the summer. They would prefer to do either a weekday, maybe we start at 3 and we end at 9. But I understand we have board members at work, so they're totally open with coming up with something, but they prefer it to be during the week. And that went over like a lead balloon. Okay.
Okay.
On both sides.
Unfortunately, I think we're to a point where we need to give Mr. Perry information to get back to the budget committee.
Right, for the budget schedule, yeah.
And so are we fine with the budget portion and starting that when the budget committee wanted? I don't see a reason to hold that
No, I
up to
don't-
figure out what you want.
I mean, I have,
Or what we're
my only, same objection I have every year. I think it just forces us to start our budget process so early that we don't want to have all our numbers still, we're trying to work
Yes.
through it, but
And
based on their timelines, we don't really have a choice.
so we just want the board, the budget committee to totally understand. We have the ambulance, we have the dispatch, we have the union, we now have the chief and the captain. Now we're gonna work through unaffiliated salaries. You're not gonna have health insurance. We're still waiting to see what happens with 661 and whether Health Trust can operate under a non-accessible plan. So there's all these outside factors which are going to delay numbers, and I'm sorry, I can't work the legislature and as much as I'd love to.
So I'll report back that we're okay with the schedule, but we have concern over not having the ambulance dispatch, health, police chief, police captain's contracts all in place, so
Or
the numbers
union.
will continue to change.
Yep.
Or the union.
Or the
because we're
union.
negotiating with the union.
Yeah.
Which is not
And
uncommon
union.
for them. They're used to it, but
Which will be a warrant article.
Right.
we also hopefully they approve it too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do wanna congratulate Heather Stamen, our accountant.
That's awesome.
So last Thursday,
Nice.
she received her New Hampshire government, finance certificate, which is, I can tell you, I did it a couple of years ago. It's like 10 different classes that you have to over a 2-year time period. So it's a substantial amount of work, and she received it at the annual conference last week.
Congratulations to her.
Congratulations, Heather, for watching.
The performance bond for Olson's was received today. That's only one check off of a list.
So what's that mean going forward?
So we still need permits, and they still need to work out a restoration plan with conservation and New Hampshire DES.
Can we hold back the permits until that's done?
We can hold back any portion of the development until that is done.
Because I would highly encourage the restoration.
Yes, and we
complete before.
believe, as was suggested, that they should have a separate bond for the restoration of the wetlands.
Because that's probably more than what the bond is that they had to put in place originally.
Yes, this bond for the development is only $75,000.
Have you heard that from DES yet?
I have not, but I did speak with them on Thursday, and they indicated that we would hear back, that they wanted to be involved.
Good.
We reviewed some notes of when they came before the conservation, and at that time, dating back to 2023, they stated that there would be the wetlands would not be impacted at all.
So instead, they didn't impact them, they wiped them
They
out.
wiped them out, yeah.
And it's like an
Complete
acre of land. An acre of land, of wetlands, about an acre.
It's more than
I think it's
More
more.
than an
I think
acre?
it's
Lot
a total
more
of
than
40
that.
acres, and I think there was like, I don't know how many was wetlands, but
How many
it's
have they impacted though?
all of it,
all of it.
No.
yes.
I mean, I don't see them getting permits anytime soon.
I have pictures.
It's
It's gonna take a lot of work to restore that.
I would think,
Mm-hmm.
I know that they did hire,
a scientist.
yeah, an environmental scientist.
I'm actually kinda
but-
surprised that bond even went through. Cause if that bond company knew what they did, I would be surprised that they'd still issue it.
Yeah, who's to say they did? I don't know. I just know that, you know, we're working through the development with them. And I'll keep our new building inspector who's starting, next Monday. So the press release is due to go out, tomorrow morning. We're gonna keep him informed. Peter, who is our current, contracted, is gonna stay over, a period, probably a week, if not 2, to make sure it's a smooth transition. Joan, Peter, and I, working with George Lavash, from Conservation, we've made sure that we're all in the loop and we all know exactly what's going on, so.
Do we have any deal with Peter for how long he'll stay on to help for the transition?
He would stay on for 2 weeks. It's up to us if we want the 2 weeks.
And hopefully he would still be available if there was a question that came up, maybe a week or 2 after that?
Oh, I'm sure, he did in the past,
Okay.
if Matt had to reach out to him. Yeah. We also received a check for $283,500 for the fire pumper truck. from
Nice.
Clean Fleets grant, so that's back in our cash flow. You already know about the Memorial Day. The big one, so there's a Senate hearing tomorrow, and this is going to definitely impact insurance. So our Primex, everyone's municipal budgets, because the bill modifies the liability standards for governments so that you can now sue the government for more money. 325 to 475, and $1 million per incident to $1.4 million. We're hoping that enough people will speak against this. NHMA's opposed it at different towns. It just raises our liability, and raising our liability raises our insurance costs, period. House Bill 1505, and it was, the language from 1505 was added to Senate Bill 643, which is gonna pass, cause ought to pass from both sides of the aisle. And it's a new amendment that's gonna require us to submit documentation to the DRA saying that we're in compliance with our tax cap. I just wanna be very clear, we have always been in compliance
say, I
with
don't
the
worry about
tax
that
cap. And so I don't know what type of hoops we're gonna have to jump through to prove that, but
Paperwork.
Maybe other
see,
municipalities.
more paperwork,
aren't as-
yeah, more reports.
Maybe other towns aren't as conscientious as us.
Then the big one to watch is also tomorrow at 1 o'clock at the Senate. That's 661, that bans health trust as it sits now. We're watching this very carefully, but, if anybody thinks it's a great idea to have the school choice type plan and get an assessment for $1 million, $4 million, whatever, in the middle of the year. I'm not sure why we're still having this discussion, but we're watching it. And then, Thursday, May 14th, so this Thursday, everything is done. They have to have acted on all their bills. We still, I did check today, Steve, and the governor did sign 26 different bills into law. House Bill 1575 with the default was not on there.
When does she?
She has not approved.
When does she have to
signed
sign
it
it by before this goes off and doesn't become a bill? Well, I mean,
I thought it was 30, but. She
What's
did
the-
not sign it. She signed all 26 other
what's the
ones.
budget committee's thought about having responsibility for those defaults?
That's a great question.
Well, I didn't know if they talked about it already. 'Cause
I'll give you something to talk about.
guess so, yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's anything that says we don't just continue to do it like we've always done it.
Prove it, maybe.
And if they want more data, we give them more data, but I think it's just unrealistic to think that the budget committee is gonna come up with a default. I mean, Karen's involved, I'm involved, we're looking back, we're asking legal questions, it's just, are they gonna come in during the day and?
That's what I
You know,
mean.
it just
I
doesn't
don't.
make sense.
I think unless the House thinks it's just a automatic document that gets created based on last year's budget. I mean,
There's a lot of effort that
yeah,
Is it
that's
to
what I
make in
mean.
the
There's a
budget?
lot,
And we
yeah.
used to and still do at times right size it too. When we have to, right? If we reduce something really significant, we reduce it if we have to. I mean, it's
For instance.
yeah. I just
Yeah, I mean, Karen and I have multiple discussions over, well, we think this has to come out, cause that's not a valid expense anymore, and I just, it's things that the budget committee's not gonna know unless we told them, you know what I mean? But again, I think it's maybe municipalities that aren't having these great discussions and maybe these great relationships, right? I mean, we work very hard with the budget committee. Both the select board and the school board, and
Yeah.
so
I mean, it's not,
we don't know what's happening in other municipalities.
my assumption is that this is gonna have to be done the same way. It's gonna be done in our office. And it just changes it from us making the final approval of default to them. It's kinda the way
Still
I
have to
see
do
it.
all the work.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, nothing will
think so.
change as far as the office is concerned of doing it. I mean,
Because they don't
unless
have
they
access.
really want to.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would.
Hire a
I don't either.
financial person.
But
And you're now, yeah.
somebody somewhere thought it was a great idea, though.
There's a lot of bills that get passed that they thought were great ideas.
Some people, yeah.
That's all I have on that note.
And you're on vacation?
Oh, and yes, sorry. Did I skip over that?
Yep.
May 14th and 15th, and May 29th and June 1st.
Okay.
Baseball.
I do have a question. I did get a text around fishing derby signs being removed off of Albuquerque, 3A, and, just call it everywhere. Are we actually taking signs off the road again?
I was not aware.
Because we don't know if it's us or somebody else doing it, and I think we need to get clarification.
So,
We would be taking them off of Albuquerque if anywhere, but not 3A.
yeah, we would never take
That's a state
signs
road,
off
we have no
3A.
jurisdiction there.
Yeah, but we've all, I think, remember, yeah, that's
No.
probably would take it, but I thought we already said we wouldn't take our signs off, even off Albuquerque, if they're in our right of way.
I can tell you the Londonderry Gun Club had a fishing derby this last weekend. Their sign was on Albuquerque, their sign was at the end of Albuquerque at 3A. It was on the corner of Century and Brenton, it was at the corner of Century and Burgess.
Yeah,
Those are, I drove by them all, they were there the whole day.
But Albuquerque is the only one that we have an ordinance on.
Yeah, and normally, the road agent is very good about letting me know if he's had to take a sign.
well, I guess we should ask them, because obviously I
Okay.
think that people think it is the town doing it. And I also think if we're advertising for our event,
Yeah.
we should allow it, we should allow it on Albuquerque
Yeah.
too. At least in the corners of Pinecrest and Page or something like that.
Over by the school,
Yeah, we shouldn't bother
I
that.
mean, places where
Shouldn't
the
bother with
kids would be.
graduation pictures either.
Right,
Yeah.
we don't, I mean, we never
No,
have, right,
course
so, let's assess if it's us,
Yeah.
we're gonna stop it, if it's not us.
Then we wanna let them know.
They're watching, so they'll hear, we
Yeah.
don't think it's us, but we'll find out, and, if not, if it is us, we'll put them back, if it's not us, we gotta figure out who's doing it. So,
Okay.
all right. Thanks, Kim. Moving on to Selectmen reports. Mr. Leary.
Okay, rec didn't meet the last meeting because we did not have a quorum. We meet tomorrow. A couple of random notes. Monday, the 18th, is the dedication of the baseball field at Campbell for Jim Gorham, former baseball coach that was there. And a lot of donations have made a real big difference over there. We got a little small group of people that are pulling together for that, and it's gonna be quite a thing. 3:30, public's welcome. Also be mentioning the 06 team, which is the first team to ever win a title, for Campbell. And, last but not least, I gotta do a shout out. Kylie McCormick, 7th grader at LMS, hit a home run over the fence today during that game against Sanborn.
Wow.
Never seen a 7th grader hit a ball over the fence, but she did.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Good job, good job.
I gotta buy her an ice cream. But congratulations, Kylie.
Very nice.
Anything
That's it.
else?
Can we update this selectmen's report section here too?
Oh, I'm sorry, is
Huh?
it?
You-
I know who's got to.
I know.
I keep on seeing it going, oh, I probably should go and do it, because I forgot to
Okay.
mention it. Ms. Plansky?
Planning board was, interesting. I did find out that my golf league and the planning board are at the same time. So what I've done is, I was going to arrive 15 minutes late for that meeting, and they had given me that approval, to do that, but actually in watching when they're finishing, then it's not gonna be that. So I found a sub to sub for me on the nights that I have the planning board. And it's twice a month, so if we have 3 Tuesdays, I get to golf. So that's good, I'm happy with that. We had the mixed-use facility over, across from Hidden Creek, that we were able to walk because, they posted it all out for us, and it was really good because we had people come in that talked about the effect of on their backyards once this mixed-use, facility went in place, Colby Farm. And we were able to see that there is a huge amount of, there's a creek, there's a lot of trees. The only two houses that will be able to see from the back, from the Robert Road, would be two ones that the owner of the property owns. So that was really a good site walk. Gave us an idea of what the traffic was gonna look like, and appreciative of being able to do that. So that was very interesting, and then they came in for the meeting on Tuesday night and gave the financial impact report and the traffic report and everything for that as well. So it looks like that's moving forward very smoothly. And then the check meeting that happened, we've already discussed, the impact of that. It's a very conversational group, which I think is how they're most effective, so I don't think I'm gonna change too much on how it's going. And then, let's see, what else did I have? Oh, I had Heritage Commission. That actually didn't have a meeting, but the 250th birthday celebration group had 2 meetings since we've met last. One Zoom and one in person that we went to at Dara to talk about where everything was gonna be. That is also shaping up very nicely. It looks like there's not gonna be any problem getting the funds that they need. They've got a couple of cleanups that are happening. So for the most part, everything that they had wanted to do, they're going to be able to do. And it's all,
Including the pony rides.
including the pony rides, yeah, and I really wanna give a big shout out to Mel's for sponsoring the fireworks, and the
Veterans.
the veterans for coming across with the agricultural experience that we're gonna have, which is gonna be wagon rides, it's gonna be a petting zoo, it's gonna be pony rides. It was something that we thought we might have to cut from the budget, and because the veterans have come forward and sponsored that entire event, we're not gonna have a problem doing that. So those were 2 of the bigger ones. We also had Chassis Steel come in and do the hot air balloons at like the last minute, so that's gonna be coming as well. So it's going really, really well, and the committee is doing a good job over there, and thank you very much, Kim, for answering all their questions so quickly.
Good.
And I gotta mention the police academy, because if anybody hasn't signed up for it out there, that police academy is phenomenal. It's a lot of information, it's presented in a very comfortable way. You get a lot of opportunities to ask questions. I got to drive a police car last week. Half the group drove police cars, and did pullovers. We did traffic stops, which is a lot harder than you'd think it was. And then half the group got to go to the gun range and fire a bunch of different weapons in a good environment. So, I mean, this is like a great academy. So I want to give the police department kudos on that too. So in my spare time, I'm doing that too. And that's all I have.
Mr. Perry?
My absence from the last meeting, so I'll give you an update from the last budget committee meeting of April 23rd. It was mostly school stuff. Open enrollment failed, so that's good. Their parking lot, they put a patch, DLB fixed the parking lot at LMS that they had a sinkhole or a collapse, or whatever you want to call it. But DLB did that for the $0, so potentially saved them some money there. They're still waiting on the engineers for the final layout of the parking lot. And the question was asked by the budget committee about impact fees, which the school has approximately $200,000 in that account for LMS. Whether they'll be able to use them or not will be the next question. And then the school board approved the health insurance change, so they moved away from school care and they're going to a captive insurance with Anthem. There'll be 0 additional cost to the town, and it's one step closer to being a self-funded plan by the school.
Nice.
Good job there.
So that's potentially gonna be a big money saver down the road. So, worst case scenario, it shouldn't cost any more than, they said worst case scenario, it would be the cost they're paying today. If they hit all their maximum, so,
But they're lumped in with some other schools, right?
they were actually the first one.
Private schools.
Nobody else has made the jump yet, I don't think.
So it's, One Digital is the broker, but that's all I know.
Cool.
You say self-funded?
They're one step closer to being self-funded.
I don't understand that.
They're trying to go to a self-funded model.
Yeah.
So that way there, they actually won't need a broker at all. But they need to build up the reserves to a point that they can absorb if somebody needs a major medical incident.
When I think of self-funded, I keep thinking every year they said the lunch program was self-funded and then asked for $1 million.
Well,
Yeah, no.
because I watched the last, because
Self-insured.
I watched the last school board
That's a
meeting, I
different
know
board.
that
Different
their lunch program was not fully funded, but.
No,
it's
forever.
The only ones I know of is Manchester and Nashua.
Yeah, we have to do that with their money.
That's good.
I mean, you're talking
Save some money
millions of
on health
dollars you
insurance.
have to have in
They're working on
reserves.
it. It's a really good, effective board from.
May 4th, Kim and I were at the CIP meeting. Peter Stone was nominated as the chair. Mike Parker is the vice chair. They approved the contract so that we can move another year. That's with NRPC, correct? It was for $2,000. Same as last year. We went through a few different items, like how much money is in the impact fee accounts, but that's about it from that. The only other thing that I have is, did we ever get did you ever find any information out about the dead trees that I asked about
Oh,
the last time I was here?
No.
yeah.
Along the
Along
along
Hillcrest.
Hillcrest.
Oh, yeah, where they put the,
Yep.
the
You
culvert in.
wanted them separate, right?
Yeah.
Because I think there's 5 of them that are dead.
You're doing
Walked by the other day, I saw you do, yeah.
So,
I did ask, but I
Yeah.
didn't, I'll follow up.
Let's just make sure.
Yeah.
that's it. That's all I got.
Did you
Gannon?
read this one? I like
Mine's quick and easy. I just drew a blank. Conservation.
Pick one.
Conservation Recreation is having the fishing derby on Saturday at Parker Park from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Parking at the community garden. That's it.
That's it? Alright, cool. FIC has not met since the last time, they meet this week. I did attend an emergency management meeting.
Wow.
This was with the school, police department, fire department, and sort of the school, side. They pretty much reviewed, they did an Alice drill, went through all that, so how that went, what their planning is for next year and stuff like that. No major, nothing else really came out of it from that perspective, so that was good. That's all I have.
All right, I do have 2
Uh-oh.
more things that I forgot.
Alright,
We already talked about the fact that the budget committee released their schedule for our approval. We've already talked about that. But the next question that they asked me was about the library. They wanna know what the town has for plans on funding, helping fund, or where we see the future of a 100-plus-year-old building going from a budget standpoint. That's something I couldn't answer without talking to you guys, so.
yeah. I know when they came, we talked about trying to figure it out with them, obviously, but, you know, we have limited resources too. I think we did learn.
So there's,
Share.
yeah, there's some stock shares, that are being sold, by the trustees because the company that holds the stock has been sold. That's going to bring in some money to the library trust fund. And then there's some conversation between the trustees of the trust funds and the library trustees on other securities and would it be profitable or detrimental to look into divesting those as well. So, they're working on it, they're having a lot of discussion, but at this point, it looks like they have enough to go through with the survey and the, initial tests.
But they don't have enough to actually fix the septic. If they sold off their
If they
stocks,
sold
Well, the
then it still
CIP,
doesn't.
at the CIP meeting, we also talked about the impact fees that they have and the possible use of that. So,
And they were not for that, correct?
who was not?
the CIP.
It's not CIP's call
Well,
anyway.
there was some question as to whether that would be justifiable or not.
Yeah.
But if attendance goes up, it's more wear and tear on the septic.
Right.
So it could be,
I think a percentage, I mean, I definitely don't think you could fully fund it that way, but you could probably get a percentage.
Yeah, it need a new septic, but now they're saying it needs a larger septic, so that
Right, yeah.
could be CIP.
That's what I think we were saying is
Yeah.
if the septic has to be expanded because of the pavilion and because of the programming and the growth in the programming,
that was,
could that
During the-
percentage of the
that was what we
project.
thought when he went.
So I think that even if the library is not in front of us, I'm gonna be bringing it up because the budget committee's gonna keep asking me
Yeah, I would,
until we get to a resolution, so just so you know.
But the library does have securities, you know, that they could divest to get money, and the only place that the proceeds from those stocks could go is the library maintenance fund.
because they were
They're-
funded by the trust fund to begin with, right? Which that trust fund was put aside for maintaining that facility.
Correct.
So,
But we're at the bottom of that, is that correct?
well, we
Even
said,
after they liquidate these assets.
They only had about 10,000 left.
They had 10,000 left,
There was another.
and then this, one stock that's being sold
30,
is like about 17,
About
15,
17.
17. And then there's probably another 25 to 30, depending on what the stock price would be.
So this is it, but they're at the end of their funds. This is their last $50,000-$60,000.
So they might be able to come with money to fix the current
problem.
long-term
but not
support,
the next
Right.
but not the
Not
next
the
one,
next
right.
shoe that
Wait.
drops.
Which is an interesting problem because the way that building, the way I understand the trust fund and the way this whole was given to the town was that as long as that building is a library, it's to be maintained as a library. Once we stop using it as a library, it goes back to the family, land and all. So, and I know there's been a lot of discussion around the value of a library versus not a library. I hate to say, I think there's a value for the library, but the question comes back to, what do we do as a town to help them fund it? Okay, maybe we have to come forward with a warrant to help fund the trust fund or create a fund that we manage to give to them.
Or make a decision whether or not we want to do that, or do we want to allow our residents to go to Hudson, which is something that
I don't know if we can make that decision for the library.
I think once the library's out of money, you're going to
Well,
have to make
sure,
that decision.
Sure, yeah, I
Yeah.
get that, and then realize we lose that
Well,
historical
I know what
building.
we're losing, but that's still a conversation that needs to be had.
I think it's tough. I mean, just because you don't use a library personally doesn't mean it doesn't have value.
I see a lot of value to what they're doing over there.
And I will say, my kids went through the library program when they were kids.
Mine too.
I've been in and out of the library over the last 6 months, helping out with different things, and there's always people in there, from little kids to older adults, partaking in some programs. So there is definitely a value. And I think your numbers do trend, your numbers track that their trending numbers are up, and they're
Yep.
getting a lot more people. Whether the budget committee believes the numbers or not, the numbers are tracking up. And one of the things I talked to Ann about was just trying to come back with, help the budget committee understand the realizations of the numbers. How do you make those numbers? What
How
is
many
that?
are books that are being
Right, how
checked
many
out?
books and how many things, right.
Yeah,
You know, and what I understand is those numbers are people physically walking through the door,
right.
right? So, I think there is a value to the community, and I would hate to lose that, because there's nothing else that would fill it in. And the question is,
But the
can,
town needs to be asked, because the
Correct.
agreement's gonna change.
and I think the board, if the board agrees that it needs to be maintained, or at least figure out how to maintain it, we should be supportive in creating a warrant to help them fund it with the taxpayers. The taxpayers will have that ultimate decision, and if they see value in it, they'll approve it, right? Because, I don't know, I mean, I think one of the things we asked Gail when she was here was, you know, what's your outlook? What other things do you think are coming down the road? Because the building has other infrastructure problems.
Right.
Heating system has had a blowback, there's a bunch of stuff like that, there's been water leaks, but the water leaks could have been all along coming from the septic system too, right? From the leach field not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So, this is just compounding and compounding and compounding.
So at this point, is the library self-sufficient? Does it pay its own electric?
Does it pay its own?
No, it's, no, we.
The state, the town pays
The
it?
the town pays for all that stuff, yeah.
Okay.
And the town also pays for some of the maintenance also, the general maintenance, but the overall trust fund pays for the big, larger expenses and improvements, I believe. Right?
Right, but the library's electric is in their budget.
Yeah, but it comes out of the taxpayers.
Yeah, everything comes out of that.
Well, not their trust stuff.
And the rub with asking people, the taxpayers, to fund these projects is that we don't have any control over the library. They're their own entity. So you're asking to fund something that we can't.
Well, if we were to bring forward a warrant, it would be under the management of the Board of Selectmen. They have to come to us and ask us, so we have to, they have
It
to
would
justify
change,
that
it would
expenditure.
change how they did.
Well, we can't touch the trust fund. I say create a revolving fund outside of the trust fund
Yeah.
that is purpose for the town to help support the library programs. You know, we also encourage them, they have the Friends of Libraries that do fundraisers and stuff like that, and they should really start ripping that back up. We did talk about that when they were here. Cause I do think that will help offset some of those costs, but.
The last time I saw them do a fundraiser, they were looking for things and I didn't understand it and I still meant to ask Ian, but they were asking for things like metal detectors and,
Probably for programs they run, they do like learning metal detecting, they do all kinds of outdoor type programs, they have like a solar watch or star watch that happened.
there was all kinds of stuff that they were asking for.
Oh, don't metal detect, yeah. They do a bunch of programs to try to interest other people, so,
Yep,
and help it, but, all right.
but they were looking for, they weren't looking for us
Yep.
for that, they were looking for.
So, did you answer, Steve?
You think
What's
that?
You get your answers?
No, but thanks.
It's clear as mud.
I almost turned around when the CIP meeting happened. I was heading out to Merrimack and I was gonna turn around because the dialogue was just killing me. Whatever. All right, so that will conclude our business meeting. We do have 3 separate non-publics to go into. The board will only be coming out of non-public, to conclude our meeting. So I'm gonna vote, make a motion, we go into non-public under 3 different RSAs. RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2, Section A, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee, or the disciplining of such employee, or the investigation of any charges against him or her, unless the employee affected, 1, has a right to a public meeting, and 2, requests the meeting to be open, in which case the request shall be granted. Second one will be RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2, Section B, the hiring of any person as a public employee. And the final one will be RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2, Section C, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board, unless such person requests an open meeting. The exemption shall extend to include any application for assistance, tax abatement, waiver of a fee, fine, or levy, if based in the inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. Do I have a second to go non-public?
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded by Mr. Gannon. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries 5-0-0. We'll be going in non-public as of 9:32. As I said, we'll only come out to conclude our business meeting.